Show. Howard 101.
You'd be amazed all the people that do listen to your show.
I can't stand it, I tell you. I love you guys are the best.
We're surely we're hitting the capital.
All right, it's 8 days. Relax. Yeah, we're on a bus.
Madison.
The wrongs don't make a right.
That's what they say in Hong Kong.
And Jay Thomas.
Hey, the Jay Thomas Show from New York, second Friday in a row, and Shirley will be along in a while. I think Ira, believe it or not, is the anniversary of his mother's death or something, and he is stopped somewhere and is praying. Is that right, Garrett? You might as well take a. You just got the phone call. What? It's the anniversary of Ira, the weatherman's mother's death.
I can only assume he said he had to stop by a synagogue and say a prayer for his mother. May she rest in peace.
Right, and that's what you do. Wouldn't you love it if you think she came back right when he was in the middle of in the middle of praying? So anyway, I will tell you for those of you that may not know this, I spent many years in Hollywood. And I was on, I started at Mork and Mindy, and I was on Cheers and Murphy Brown and all kind of television shows, my own show, movies, and everything else. And when I pick up the newspaper, I cannot believe the stuff that you read about the famous people on TV. Charlie Sheen, it's being reported that he has shaved his head. And he wears a wig and a mustache so he can go into these escorts' apartments. And I guess people follow him, and so they found him. His agent said the reason why he shaved his head was not so he could hide out someplace. It was a statement because all the years he's been on 2.5 Men, which for those of you that have done drugs, they're changing the name of the show if Charlie stays to 8 Ball. Good evening. Thanks. 2.5 grams, 8 ball. Anyway, because he couldn't cut his hair on the show. So now that he's off the show and he can live a normal life, he shaved all of the hair off of his head. And I guess, I don't know, the Post or now this is all alleged, but it's in the local papers in New York and coming out of Los Angeles also. So, and the other one, well, not the other one, but a bunch of them. This America Ferrara, you know who she was? She was on Ugly Betty, right? They hired her because she was ugly, and she played a woman who was ugly.
Now
they are saying, she's really pretty, and that people need to accept the fact that she is really a pretty woman. And they've got pictures of her, and you know how sometimes, and you see it all the time, you'll see 2 or 3, fat girls, and the really pretty girl looks at the fat girl and goes, "Oh, Bernadette, you look so beautiful, Bernadette," and you're all looking, and there's no way, is that pretty? Will that ever be pretty to you? That picture?
No, but that's like her all geeked up.
No, that's her trying to look cute with a butterfly in her hand. She was really ugly for a while.
Isn't that Ugly Betty in that picture? Not.
It's
America?
Ugly Betty, but cute.
Yeah.
But now they've got her right. They've got her like hot.
Yeah, she is. I didn't used to think she was that attractive, but the more recent pictures I've seen, she's not bad.
I don't know. I still need convincing. What
you have to realize is Ugly Betty or any show that's on the air for at least 5 years, she probably owns a piece of the show. You make hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, not 10,000 or 20,000 a week. You make after the show's a hit, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. And if you're smart and you've saved your money, you never have to work again another day in your life, or you could do a little plays or whatever the deal is. And so you played Ugly Betty. And it'll take a few years for the Ugly Betty thing. First of all, her name is America Ferrara. The name America, when you're named after a continent, it's bad for you. I mean, suppose your name was Columbia. I mean, whatever it is, it means you have a huge ass or a large body you're named after a country. America Ferrara. The other one is, You know this BB Newirth that was on Cheers and everything else? Mm-hmm. She's on stage here with this Nathan Lane. And everyone is saying, you know, this is all rumors, of course, but it's big headlines, that she's a horrible bitch, horrible to work with. And I did one play with her. Everybody in the cast couldn't stand her. No one could stand her. And from the play before that, someone said, now this is all rumor and conjecture. And at the end of the play, I said one thing to her. The next thing you know, she turns on me. And in my estimation, she's evil. She's evil incarnate, right? And I can't stand her, never want to see her again or whatever. All they've got to do is call the production prior to the one that they hire the person on, and they'll say, you know, this is rumor, this is alleged and everything else, but I don't think the cast liked her, and she wasn't, you know, the most fun to work with. They've hired her anyway. And Nathan Lane, who's, you know, he's not just gay. He's almost like a Tinkerbell kind of a thing. He's like a floating, he's an invisible gay person. And he's depressed, and so now they say that when you watch the show, it's the Addams Family, which was supposed to be a piece of shit, but people bought the tickets anyway, so they're going to it. They can see the stress in Nathan's face on stage.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Well, of course you could see the stress. You know what? Gay guys love for you to know that they're upset.
Oh, the drama.
What's the matter now? Nothing. Nothing. The other one is Kiefer Sutherland from 24. I live most of the time in Santa Barbara, California. He came to town one weekend, and there's a pub there, a friend of mine's pub called Dargan's in Santa Barbara. We go into Dargan's, and Kiefer Sutherland, after I don't know how many drinks or whatever, is carried out of the club by his two buddies. I mean, like in a movie, like carried out of the club. People are going, look, there's Kiefer Sutherland. He's in England, I guess, a couple of days ago. He comes out of a strip club with no shirt on, 4 o'clock in the morning. People, I got to tell you, these are the stupid, when people go, you know, actors, they have to learn lines. No, they are the stupidest people that you will ever meet in your life. Do you read about the writers and the producers of the shows drunk and with their shirts off? No, they're the smart ones. Actors are generally complete fucking idiots, right? And if you make it, it is such an accident. Now there are definitely talented people. I mean, you know, the Meryl Streeps of the world and the Robert De Niro's and the Christopher Walkens and all. But, you know, they don't write any of the shit that they say. So when you see a fabulous performance and you're crying or you're laughing or whatever, some really smart person wrote that, right? And then another smart person lit the ugly bastard so they looked good, right? Mm-hmm. And then somebody edited it. And so they pay the actor hundreds of thousands or millions of friggin' dollars. The other one is, after you've made so much money, you can't spend it. Why do you make a decision like this? Kelsey Grammer, who is a very nice guy, who I've known forever, is richer than anybody you'll ever meet in your, I mean, he's like Tiger Woods rich from Cheers and then, you know, Frasier and the whole thing. He has decided to revive La Cage aux Folles and play the gay guy that owns the club. And it's, you know, why? What, of all the plays to pick, why do you want to? And in the paper, he's with some really ugly guy who's in a woman's outfit, right? It is the choices these people make. And let me go to Ben Roethlisberger, Shuley.
Gotta pick on my Steelers.
He travels with a bunch of guys who block for him in the club.
It's called an offensive line.
And when they get a woman, and, you know, she'll be with an America Ferrari. She'll be with 3 America Ferraris, right? 3 giant-assed cock blockers.
The fugly too.
Yes. And she's cute and pretty, and she's the drinker.
Right.
So she's as drunk as the little girl that went to Aruba and was thrown off the back of the island, whatever that girl's
Shout
name.
out Natalie Holloway.
There you go. And you know what's sad? I'm just sorry she didn't take Nancy Grace with her. That's all I'm sorry. And the other one, what's her name? Jane Velez
Mitchell.
Look.
Which is Swahili for
I gotta
woman
tell you,
with mullet.
I would like to see one night Jane Velez Mitchell talking, and like in a cartoon, a fist just comes in and just, knocks her out of the screen.
How about I'm watching Nancy Grace the other day, and she's got a producer on location somewhere, I think in Florida, with that 16-year-old, white trash broad that's now talking about how they killed the kid, that little girl Haley.
Oh, that's a horrible story.
Right.
By the way, how many years has that been going on?
Oh, so
Yeah.
finally they start talking. She goes, let me go to my producer, Shelley. What's going on?
God.
And she goes, well, Nancy, no reports as of yet. Excuse me. And she interrupts her right in the middle of her. This is her producer. She goes, it's about who, what, when, where, why. Start again, please. So the chick starts again. She goes, we're here in Florida. Nothing has happened yet. I'm here. And 2 seconds into it, Nancy goes, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. So all this bitching was for 3 seconds, and now they're going to break. She humiliates everyone on that show. Your buddy Mickey's on there a lot.
Well, poor Mickey. He'll do anything.
I know.
He's trying so hard. He even married a woman at Fox just to try and he could get like a tag to get in the building.
I yell at Mickey through the TV. I go, drop the C-bomb. Do it.
Anything. Well, Roethlisberger, I have to say, people say, he's changed.
Well, going through a windshield of a car may do that to you.
Wasn't he in a motorcycle or something?
Yeah.
And also, does he not look fat to you?
He's bigger than he was before.
He's got like a head like a pickle jar. I don't know if you ever go into these old stores they used to have pickles in these big jars.
Yeah.
And it's got that odd kind of a beer head shape thing to it. So he has a group. Now he's just like a big celebrity, just like the ones I mentioned before. And he has some guys. And so let's say he sees a woman and the woman gets loaded. Now this is alleged, and I'm building a story here that I wasn't there to see it, but I'm just, going over what
Fantasy land.
what I might have read in the newspaper or something like that. What I might have heard. All alleged. I have no idea if this is true or not, but it's a strictly rumor. And the women are there. And so now one gets drunk and he's the football player and they're in Georgia, right? He gets the guys to block the cock blockers out of the way. And then the woman is kind of herded up into the VIP section.
He audibled to a screen pass.
And then she disappears.
Right.
Up into a trap play.
Bootleg. Naked bootleg.
And then the women claim that they tried to battle their way past the whatever they are. And that's when the alleged sexual offense took place.
If HBO was smart, instead of doing, Hard Knocks where they follow a team, follow some guys in the off season to some clubs. Let's do a Hard Knock special on that.
They're big, stupid, rich guys. Here we go again. They're big, stupid, rich guys. Now, and there is an offensive coordinator and somebody thinks of it, but they are incredibly physically talented. But beyond that, they're not bright. I mean, there's a couple of them that are bright, but they'll have one guy as a Rhodes Scholar, and they'll do 3 hours on him. Why don't they do a
Tahani Jones? They always talk about Tahani Jones.
Well, he's coming on today.
Yeah, and he's like this brilliant scholar guy who can drop down to their level and play this Neanderthal type game. And then you have these guys that are they're never what's the timeline on how soon you believe you're a god? When enough people tell you that every day. You're walking around in a town like Pittsburgh where they're loyal to their football team. They praise anyone on that team. And you're thinking, wow, my shit doesn't stink. I could get away with anything I want.
Not in Georgia.
Well,
when you leave the area, you're
exactly.
Now, isn't he still under some kind of investigation from Lake Tahoe or something?
There was I know he settled in one case and,
plus he's huge. So he could make you and I get on each ball and do so. That place right up here? What is it? Where you get pinched and you'll do anything?
Yeah.
He could make you and I go ahead, get down there and you lick on the ball and you lick on the ball. We'd do it.
Right.
We would have to do it.
Right. I got dibs on the left one.
Yeah.
I'd be yelling.
So what amazes me is with everybody watching, everybody and then, they just keep, you would think that if people say BB Newirth is a bitch or whatever, she'd have read about it in the paper and she would start acting nice. Go out of her way to act nice.
Right.
You would think Kiefer Sutherland would would not be drunk at 4 a.m. with his shirt off. You would think that, first of all, the worst thing that's happened is this poor Tiger Woods. He goes to the 6 weeks of rehab in Mississippi. And apparently he's cured, by the way, Shuley, completely cured of wanting 20 to 40 women in a month.
It's a medical miracle.
And in Mississippi, of course, you're so bored anyway, and you want to get out of there so quickly. And if you're multiracial, you're not allowed even to go into a 7-Eleven in most areas of Mississippi. But so now he's cured, and she still leaves him. She's filed for divorce. They showed her getting into her private jet. She has a jet.
Right.
And she left the kids with a nanny. She's a nanny.
I know, right?
So she used to live in a house with the rich guy, and the rich guy, Jasper Parnevik, was probably, who knows who he's married to. He would leave his children with her. She was a nanny. Now she's worth $400 million, and she leaves her children with, if I came back as a gorgeous woman, I would become a nanny. I would become a nanny in 2 seconds.
It's like a weird Twilight Zone episode where, she started out as this thing, and now she's hiring people to do what she started out as.
Does Tiger Woods not seem like a boring guy to you? I mean, he got laid and he did all the texting and all that. And
I was going to say, that Tiger doesn't seem boring. The sex monster.
He
Tiger.
does have quite a vivid imagination, doesn't
He
he?
was peeing on girls.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he was at least asking for it or bringing it up in conversation.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, yeah. In some of the texts he mentions.
He wanted to pee on them?
Yeah, a few of them.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Didn't one of the porn stars let him? I thought the one that was on Howard, she said Tiger let him, I think.
Really?
I don't want anybody peeing on. I mean, when you get like pimples and stuff or like some kind of a, oh my God, wouldn't you have a,
the rule for me would be water has to hit me instantly. Once the second your pee hits me, I'm going to have to, and nothing above the waist.
I had a girlfriend, years ago, and I think we were showering together or something, and
that's how it starts.
Making out in the shower and this and that and the other. And my leg was in between hers, and I think some pee or something got on my thigh.
Well, what's cool is
but I got big pimples on my thigh. Like about a week later, I had like some real pussy looking, weird looking things, and I said, God, I think the pee must have, I would, gee. And poo-poo can kill you. People talk about the fooling with the rear end and that can kill you, that.
Sure.
God. The poo-poo can
choke on it.
Oh, it can kill you. Absolutely kill you, Yeah, I mean, and now he's cured, completely cured.
Of course.
And she's leaving him. She's gone. She's got the jet. She's got the 2 children who have 4,000 or 5,000 races in them. That's how many different races they have in them. She's got $300 million she walks away with. And the settlement they're talking about for the children, of course, he'll take care of them forever, is $100 million for the upkeep of the children. It's $100 million.
Wow.
And she then will get in child support, not alimony, because the
So the $100 million towards the kids has nothing to do with the child support?
No, nothing at all.
Because you're going to need more. I mean, think about it.
It's going to be
that
close.
$100 million will be gone like that.
It's close to $1 million a month for child support. And that's the school, that's the jet, that's the thing. And she gets the houses. And she owns a beautiful home. And now look, I don't feel bad. I think she's probably a great gal. She's naked on the internet also. So now Tiger what he can do now is go on the internet and look at his ex-wife.
She's naked online?
Yeah, she was like a naked model back in wherever. Now, somebody said those weren't real pictures or whatever. But whenever you meet a Swede, they're always naked in a hot tub or something, aren't they?
They got no problems with it.
They're always getting in and out of a sauna and they're naked. They have absolutely no problem at all being naked, but that's not how we live in the United States.
Do you like my fun bags?
In the United States.
Yeah, thank you, Elon.
Let's go to Ben Roethlisberger, who's calling us. Yes, Ben, how are you? Yes?
Good evening, Jay.
Can you turn him up? I can barely hear it. Now, Ben, you were with your head was hit in a motorcycle accident, and many people think that it's changed your personality.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Now, did you use the guys blocked the women out, and this is alleged, and you heard
I did not rape the girl. I was just bringing her in there to read her My Pet Goat.
What's that?
My Pet Goat.
Now, when you see them drunk, is it kind of like when you see those Animal Planet things when the wounded deer is kind of on the side of the herd, and the jaguar, surely the jag, they get the mother away from the wildebeest.
Oh yeah,
and they get the little one, right?
Yeah, what's a wildebeest?
It's an animal. It looks like it's made from different parts of other animals. That's it. All right. Celebrity voices impersonated on the Jay Thomas Show. Ben Roethlisberger. Thank you, Ben, very much. Thank you. Let's go to Kurt of Chicago. By the way, we will, incredible guest coming up. A woman who tweeted her own abortion, will be on the show.
I'm sorry?
She tweeted her own abortion.
How do you do?
She was getting
it and tweeting at the same time.
Yes.
Now that's multitasking.
Getting it and tweeting it. Getting it and tweeting it.
People can sit there and go, "Well, I drive and text." No,
can you imagine?
Get a kid sucked out of you and text, then come talk to me.
Can you imagine if the cop stopped her while she was texting, tweeting, and aborting at the same time? I don't know how many years do you do for all of that?
You know what's great though?
What?
This chick is texting, tweeting while getting an abortion. Yet Jim Carrey's still nuttier than her on Twitter.
And then Lonnie Love. Do you know her, the comedian?
Do I?
No, you don't know her. She wants to come in. She's a comedian.
She's on Chelsea Handler's show.
I love that show. Yeah. I love that show. That's my favorite talk show. And believe it or not, Dhani Jones, the great linebacker who played at the Saints and is now with Cincinnati, he has really a cool show on the Travel Channel. Dhani Jones tackles the globe. But whatever he tries, he beats the natives at their own thing. So what I know about television and reality shows, I would imagine some of that is massaged, right? So those are the guests. Yes, I'm sorry, Kurt, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, you were talking about football players. William Refrigerator Perry's Super Bowl 20 ring is on eBay right now.
No, come on.
I'm serious.
How much?
I haven't looked at the price. I don't know.
Well, those are diamond studded, and can you look it up, Garrett, please, or Kevin? They are diamond studded, and with I don't know how much gold is in there, but that could be worth what, 15, 20 grand maybe. So he's broke. Is that the deal?
I understand he's in a wheelchair also. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Is it because of getting hit in the head and all that? Or?
That I'm not sure. No, I think he might have like some MS or type related.
Well, you know what they say that, I saw that fight when Muhammad Ali basically didn't even swing at Larry Holmes. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was hit, 125 times in the head or something crazy. And so if he has that, it might. Poor Refrigerator Perry. Then he went to England for a while. People really loved him in England. Bro, what's the deal,
You
Garrett?
could buy it now for just under $9,000.
Damn. What size is it? His fingers must, I think my ring size is a 10, I believe.
He's got to be like a 34.
Got to be a huge, you could use it as a Super Bowl cock ring.
It'll be my cod piece.
You could put a vibrator attachment on it and
I look like a magician with that thing on my wrist.
You know what? Poor bastards. I mean, I've tried to save all the really good money I've ever made, and it's still, it's difficult.
It's sad to see how far the mighty people who are named after appliances have fallen.
It's awful. And what do you say? Now, and poor Dhani Jones, the first question I'm going to ask him, are you saving your money? You got to save your money.
Right.
All right. Kurt, thank you for it. $9,000, is it?
It's 51.6 grams of 10-karat gold.
51.6 grams.
How many grams, man?
Of 10-karat gold. What is grams to ounces? What is that? Does anybody know?
I can call a guy, but he'll probably be asleep right now.
You ought to see the looks on the faces of these geniuses. Kevin Kraft has just gone to his cell phone or his.
Believe it or not, I have a converting app.
Wow, what would you use that for?
Gee whiz. Gee, a guy that likes to run equipment, I can't believe he's a nerd. Gee whiz. What do you do in radio? I press the buttons.
Jay, you're in luck. I have an app on my iPhone. Let me just put my 3D goggles on and check it out for you.
It's 51.8 grams.
Oh, God, I'm so mad.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, what are we converting here? Again?
Yes, I knew it. I knew we had to
I got
be
a bad
quiet.
memory, but I am a dork.
51.8 grams, right, Garrett?
51.6, yeah.
Oh, another big nerd. He had to correct me.
I want to correct you, too, as well, about Tiger's wife. Those pictures were not her, and she sued and won a shitload of money from the magazine that said they were her.
I want to tell you, I am so glad that those are not naked pictures of you. Apparently, I have masturbated to an imposter. and I am so sorry, and I will apologize to you forever. Mrs. Woods, I know you're probably in a jet someplace going somewhere. I did not know it was alleged. I did not know it was fake, and what I said was alleged, and let me apologize. Yes, go ahead. Kevin, that's as much, peddling as I can do. Go ahead.
Gotcha. 51.6 grams is 1.8 ounces.
1.8 ounces.
That would take me a week and
1.8 ounces, and it's the Super Bowl. And what year was that? Was that the 70s, 80s?
I think I said 85 on the eBay
1985. 9,000. And gold is selling. I don't know. It's like $900 an ounce or something like that. It's $900. So if you melted it down, it's because it's a Super Bowl ring, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You know what he should have done? You know those envelopes you get? You mail your gold in and then they send you a check back? He should have just done that.
What a shock. That company, they're not on the up and up.
I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
Turns out, you mean me mailing my gold to some stranger? Like, what a moron. That's like those commercials you see for inventors. You see those late at night, they go, listen, if you got a good idea, we'll send you a packet. You write down in detail every step of your invention, send it back to us, and we'll let you know if you got something.
I was watching a show the other night, and I was thinking of you, where these guys try and get a lion or something to jump at meat and eat the meat off of a tree, and they get in this plastic box.
I've seen this.
Who are those guys?
Now, this is a lion that was in captivity, and they wanted to get him acclimated to the outdoors and to, like, bring food up a tree and stuff?
No. These guys are in the wild, and they just want to see
the ones in the clear plexiglass thing?
Yeah, and so the lion comes up, and there's like a dead goat or something
right on top of it.
But they're in and they talk. I wish I had a piece of. They go, okay, there's the lion. There it is. And I'm thinking,
he's a big one.
I don't think animals walk up when a human is, even they can see the human through the plexiglass. I wouldn't think the animal would come up and do anything with a human around.
And there's holes in the plexiglass, obviously, for them to breathe, but what it also does is it lets their scent out to the lion. So all of a sudden there's one lion there, and they're in this plexiglass box in the middle of the desert, and next thing you know,
the Serengeti or whatever it is.
There's 4 lions around them, and they're laying next to the box, and it's like, well, now how the hell do we get out of here?
I don't know how. I guess they shoo them away. Years ago, I listen. I will do anything. There's nothing that I can't remember anything that I've ever turned down. I got called by, I think it was ABC. We want to do a show called Implosion, and we go around the country and they blow up buildings, and we follow the family and we watch them set the explosives. And they set them so that the buildings collapse in. They're the same people, by the way, that set the explosives in the World Trade Center. For those of you that they say, oh, it imploded. People say that. They say that the way that the World Trade Center fell proves to them that explosives were planted. That's what the conspiracy theorists say. And it did fall just like those stadiums and everything else, right?
I mean, the only problem with their argument is we haven't tested this, this reaction to for a building, for a plane to fly into it, a commercial airliner,
and the 9,000 degree heat.
Like we have nothing to base it on.
Nothing at all. So they say, here's what you do: we're going to fly you to, I think it was Wichita, and they're going to knock down this giant building, and you are going to be in a plexiglass box,
just watching it,
about, I don't know, 500 yards away. And you're going to do the play-by-play. But prior to the explosion, you're going to go in the building, and they have a beautiful daughter that works with the company, and you're going to help them set the explosives and the string and all. So we shoot for 2 or 3 days, and we set the string, and the daughter's beautiful, and the family does it, and I make all my stupid jokes and everything else.
Right.
So the day comes, and a cameraman and I get into a plexiglass box, and there's the building in front of us, and the camera's behind me, and his name was like Bob, right? So the producer goes, "Okay, now Bob, I want you to get a shot of the building, and then come back, and then Jay, turn to the camera, and you'll blah blah blah, and oh, there's the pretending, okay, blah blah blah." So we practice all day, and it's going to happen at 5:00, and the whole town turns out, thousands of people. So they move everybody back. And I am the closest person to the building. And I look back and I think, gee, the crowd is really a long way from me. But I'm in a plexiglass box. So
you're in the box the Pope's in, but there's no mobile underneath you.
So I turn and there's Bob, and I go, "Hey Bob, this is crazy, right?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to lock the camera down now." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I'm just going to lock it down so it doesn't move." I go, "All right." So they do the countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and the building blows up, and the building falls, and these volcano pictures that you can't fly in Europe for the next 6 or 8 years now because of the ash?
Right.
That came at the plexiglass box.
Fast, too.
Yeah, and I'm announcing and everything else, and I turn, and Bob's gone. Bob locked that fucking camera down, and Bob was gone. So I go, "Hey, Bob!" He was gone. That shit enveloped me, and I couldn't breathe. Yeah. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. And when I saw those guys in that plexiglass box, plexiglass, if those lions had pushed on that box. Well, now the plexiglass box that I'm in, it's covered in soot, and it begins to wobble and move and the whole thing. It's idiotic. I mean, what we do.
Yeah.
It's completely idiotic.
Well, there was a lion show I used to watch where the guy
Go online and look for Implosion. I wonder if they even run that anymore. Implosion.
There was a lion guy that there was this reserve out in Africa, and they had these lions that were, I don't know, I guess being too much like lions. They were killing too many other animals.
That's always bad.
Right.
And the village was built too close to where the lions are, and so now the lions
So this guy, they call this guy, because he's the big cat expert. He doesn't even show up with a plexiglass box. He shows up with an ATV, a little walkie-talkie, and a little Bo Peep, like sheep hook stick. And this male lion starts charging him, and he holds the stick up like Clash of the Titans, and he's like, "No! No!" And the lion stops because the lion's like, I swear to you, I see that it was on, and the lion stops as he's going, "The fuck is this guy doing with a stick?" I'll shit that stick out in 2 seconds.
No.
I swear to you. And the guy slowly became part of this pride that was living out in this reserve. And
the guy became a part of the pride?
Yeah, they accepted him.
The guy did?
Yeah.
He was accepted into the pride.
They had a party and everything.
They should have had the show where he mates with one of the females.
There was a picture of he's shaking the lion's paw with one hand and grabbing a diploma with the other.
I was walking home from school with, her last name was McRoberts, like Kathy McRoberts. And she was really sweet. Did you ever have a little girl that really liked you, but she was a little chubby? She was like America Ferrera.
Yeah.
And
who always had friends that go, "She's so pretty if she lost weight."
And I'm like 12 years old, and she's 12, and I would invite her to the movie every now and again and stuff, and we would ride our bike together. And I knew she liked me, but she was a little chubby. She's probably gorgeous now. So Peggy McRoberts, whatever her name was. So we're walking home from Gregory Junior High School in New Orleans. and I am scared to death of dogs. A dog bit my ass. You know, like the Coppertone ad?
Yeah.
By the way, you know who that is, the little girl in the Coppertone ad, right?
Nathan Lane.
No, it's Jodie Foster.
Close.
So that's Jodie Foster. So a dog bit my ass like that, and I've been frightened of dogs my entire life. A little Jack Russell Terrier chased me when I was about 5 years old, bit me right in the ass. Everyone laughed. I am frightened to death of dogs.
Big or little?
Yeah, you know why? When I'm petting them, that look in their eye when you're close.
They can smell the fear on you. That's why. This
is the thing I hate. when they do that one, right? And so.
And people go, just let him smell your hand. He wants to kill you.
We are walking home from school. I'll never forget it. And we get to where we play played football and everything at the big park. And we were walking by the elementary school. So we're walking home from the junior high. Now we're passing Oak Park Elementary. And this German Shepherd comes out of nowhere.
Ooh,
and you can hear you can hear the nails of the. You know, I wish I
sounded like a pen on a
the
can.
nails of the German Shepherd on the concrete.
Yes.
And I am so scared. There is urine. I mean, you know, I'm like Tiger Woods in a date. I'm pissing all over myself, right? There is everything coming out of me. And Helen was her name. Helen McRoberts. God, if you know her, and she loved me. Remember, I told you she loved me. Here comes this. I am so scared. She stands in front of the dog, and the dog jumps, and she goes, "No!"
Right.
Just like you said.
Right.
And the dog goes, and stops.
Yeah.
And that's the only other time Helen McRoberts did it. And all the way home, I'm going, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
She stopped that friggin' dog.
You know what it is? Sometimes you gotta fight.
No!
You gotta out crazy. You know what I mean?
No! And I have a great voice, so I could, but I'm scared inside. That's
right. Right. You don't have you don't mean it when you're saying
no!
Right.
It's like when a guy's gonna fight you, I'm gonna kick your ass. They'd still beat me up.
No! You're not gonna punch me!
Wait, how about this one? Not in my house! Not today! By the way, every losing coach, every losing team in the locker room, not in our house! Right. Not today! I've been in all those things where you all just, and you still go out and get your ass kicked. And you started practicing in August, and you worked your ass off, and you still lose 9 games. All right?
And then after the game, he's like, the important thing is we had fun. That's what it's all about.
Let's go to Nick of Lake Tahoe. Nick, what is the price of gold now? What's the price?
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I'm
hey,
good.
Julie.
Yeah, what's
gold is up to $11.56 an ounce.
Wow.
Silver is at $18.36. Copper is at $3.62.
Wow.
Okay, 28 grams is an ounce. Okay.
Oh,
and an 8 ball is 3.5 grams, not 2.5 grams.
Well, it's inflation. Okay.
So I wanted you to get your numbers straight.
So the ring, Refrigerator Perry's ring is almost 2 ounces.
About an ounce and a half, almost.
Ounce and a half. So the gold in it is let's say worth $2,000 or 20.
Well, roughly, I'd say about that. Ballpark.
$1,800 and all that. Now, doesn't it have some diamonds in it also? Was it a good ring?
I would think so, because it was a first-time ring. It was her first Super Bowl ring, so I'd imagine it have a couple diamonds in it.
You mean it was the first year that a team gave a ring to a player?
No. It was the first team. It was the first year that the Bears have won a Super Bowl.
Oh.
That they gave a ring, I think.
The whole C logo is little diamonds, and then in the hole in the middle of the C is a big diamond.
I would think somebody would be buying this thing.
I would think so, too. That's probably pretty cheap. I bet it would go up after...
after he dies. Sure.
I just bought his CD copy of the Bears Super Bowl Shuffle for 50 cents.
All right.
That's
you know what, Shuli? You always have to make a joke, don't you?
I'm sorry.
All right. Nick, why do you know so much about copper and gold and
I have some gold investment. I keep an eye on it.
You know, like I said, I'm watching it right now, and it's
You're watching the gold go up and down, up and down.
Yeah, I watch silver. I've got a lot of silver, so I watch it go up and down. I sell it.
Have you ever mailed everything in a little pouch off?
That. That's a bunch of shit, Jim.
You mean you wouldn't put your rings and your mother's bracelets and stuff in a little pouch and seal it and mail it off to somewhere?
Stupid.
That's right up there with writing a letter to Santa.
Yeah.
And I've met Nick. I've met Nick like maybe 3 or 4 times, and the one
You
thought,
know Nick?
Yeah, the one thought.
We've met a couple times.
How do we know people? They're like 3,000 miles away.
Well, I tell you, every time I met him, I never once walked away and went, "That guy's into gold and silver."
Unless it's in his teeth,
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in my teeth.
So you are like a day trader. You stay home and you trade commodities, gold, silver.
No, not that much, but I have some, and I keep an eye on it.
Are you rich? Do you have like a lot of money from these investments?
No, I'm not rich, Jay. If I had your money, I'd burn mine.
Really?
You know?
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Really? All right.
Yeah, the jet setter you are.
I am a jet setter. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm leaving today. Last night made a last-minute ticket purchase. $300. JetBlue means nothing to me. $300.
Where are you going to play golf?
I won't be playing golf until next week. It's too chilly here. I'm leaving this area. All right.
Nice. Well, what's your handicap?
You know what? From the Blues, I'm about a 12.
Nice.
Nice.
That's good. Hey,
yeah.
That's good. At least you keep active at it. Surely, I got tickets for you in September in Stockton. Can't wait to see you guys, buddy.
Thank you, Nick.
Man.
Thank
okay,
you
you guys have a good day, guys.
All right,
Later,
let's
Nick.
go to Craig of Florida. Yes, Craig, the Jay Thomas Show.
No, I've
Julie
met
is
Craig
here.
about 6 times.
No,
I
you
don't
have
know.
not.
I don't
No,
know
you
Craig.
So, Craig, what is it that caused you to stop your, whatever you were doing and call us?
I'm actually still doing it. I'm driving a truck down here, but I saw that show that Shirley was talking about with the
when the guy said,
guy.
stop!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not take my eyes off that show. I was waiting for any second that guy was going to get eaten up, man.
Now, wait a
It
minute.
was
Now,
unbelievable.
Craig, I got to tell you something. I mean, you sound like a wonderful person, but you do not have the type of voice that could stop a lion. I think you have to have kind of a deep... I want you in your normal voice. Imagine a lion's coming at you. I want you to do the same in your voice. I want to hear you yell stop to the lion. Go ahead.
Stop! I think that'd probably be about my best shot.
No. You know what? It didn't have the strength to it, did
If
it?
I'm a dog, I'm biting you right in the nuts.
Yeah. It has to be guttural. It has to be stop! Like that.
No!
Yeah.
No, what did he say? No?
Yeah, like you're parting the Red Sea. You gotta, no!
You know what? I think Helen McRoberts said no, now that I think of it, because
Right.
it draws it out, right? No!
Or if you want to get really nerdy, you could yell out from Lord of the Rings, "You shall not pass!"
No! No!
The guy's name is Brady Barr, I believe.
I've had him on my show.
Exactly. He's like...
We have had him on the show in the afternoon.
Host of Dangerous Encounters with
Jesus.
a stick.
I think he was the lion tamer in the circus or something like that, right?
No!
Yeah. Up, Simba!
No!
Down, Simba!
No! All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Long Island. Alex of Long Island. Yes, Alex, how are you? Jay
And
Thomas
it doesn't
here.
have to be no. It's just in the tone of what you're saying. Yeah, like... Hello!
How about this? How about this? America Ferrera! All right. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The gentleman that was on before, when it comes to drugs, there's 28 grams in an ounce, but when it comes to silver and gold and all that stuff, they weigh it in troy ounces. I think it's something like 26.2. I'm not exactly sure on the measurement.
So you mean Nick was giving us the grammage for cocaine and telling us it was...
That sounds more like
pot.
the Nick that I met.
Hey, Nick, nice try, okay? You can't use that pot scale for
I'm sitting here listening
gold.
to him, and I'm going, when did this guy become an expert in jewelry?
And he knew copper, too. He told us copper and silver.
Yeah,
and,
so do I. I used to be a plumber.
You know, somebody told me that when you buy these commodities, like if you buy oats or if you buy, whatever, potatoes or whatever. Now, of course, you never see the thing, but if you keep it too long and don't get rid of it, whether you win or lose, they will actually deliver the commodity to your home.
Oh, geez.
Can you imagine if you screw up and they're like 8 tons of oats comes to your house?
Yeah,
right.
Imagine that phone call from
Now,
your
how do
wife.
you know all this? How do you know the weights and all that? How do you know?
My father's a coin collector, and he collects gold and silver and things like that. And I used to do some things in high school with the other side. So, you know.
So you know the drug side, and you also know the gold, the silver, and the copper side.
Correct.
That's incredible. That's unreal. You ever had that gold spoon around your neck? And I love those guys. They would actually have a gold spoon, but it would be during the day. They'd be at their office, and I'm going, Jesus, that's like a Coke spoon. Oh, no, it's an ornament. It's an ornament. And the razor blade. You ever see the gold razor blade? Nah, it's an ornament, man. It's an ornament.
I have
you know that through the 80s, there were guys that actually went to work and had those things around their necks during the day. That's not a joke.
Well, I blinged out a crack pipe, and I wear that around my neck from time to time.
No, one of those penis pipes. Those are my favorites. All right.
Hey,
thank you, Alex.
You know, we were
Have
talking.
a good one.
Thank
You guys are
you.
great.
Thank you.
We were talking about that cash for gold, stuff. What a stupid idea that was. And this guy Alan on my fan page brings up a great point. Don't forget about the payday loans at the low interest rate of 38%.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So if you make $100, you give them $38, and they give you whatever that is back.
I mean,
what is it? $62. So you line up with your $100 check, and they give you $62 back. Is that right?
This guy Eric says he once saw a car title loan at 394% interest.
That's at the end of the loan.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know.
No, it's at the end of the loan. And Jason of Baltimore, yes, sir. How are you? And then we'll go.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine send some of that, some gold in that packet, and they make you an offer after they receive it. And he said, no, send it back. So they upped the offer, and he said, no, send it back. And they offer you the absolute minimum to start, and then just keep upping it because they don't want to send it back.
Well, they probably melt it as soon as they get it, so they can't send it back to you.
Did he ever hear an offer that he kept?
He kept saying no, and they kept not wanting to send it back. And in the end, I think he accepted what they were sending him. But
well, the last offer I heard is they said they would kill Ed McMahon if he.
I think he got hardly any money for what he sent.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they had to pay MC Hammer and Ed McMahon for that great commercial they did.
You mean the guy got an envelope and he put rings and chains in the envelope? Why didn't he go to a pawn shop or to 3 or 4 jewelry stores?
Pawn shop won't give me anything for it, Jay.
In Baltimore, why didn't he go to some reputable place? I mean, you mail it off into the night,
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Now watch. I could set it up and buy the ads, and I'm not a jeweler. And if people mailed me the stuff, and I, of course, promised to mail it back, then I would negotiate on the phone with them. So I would take it to the jewelry store.
Right.
What are you the guy, I'm going to give you $500 for this. I would offer the guy $100. The guy says not enough. And let's say I get him up to $300. I'm at least going to already know I'm going to make $200.
Right.
So he's already pre-sold the gold when he gets it in the little package.
Yeah. I mean, I went with my wife here, a couple years ago, 2 blocks over, Jewelry District. My people hanging out, and it's like a Soul Train line. You're walking down the sidewalk.
They attacked me yesterday.
Each side's like, come on in, come on in, come on in. And she had some stuff that she wanted to sell, because I make good money here, and we just wanted to do it for shits and giggles. And so we went in there, and we found a couple Israelis, and they hooked us up.
Did you speak in the language?
Of course, I let them know right off the bat
that you were one of them.
It ain't going to be that kind of party, pal.
Yesterday, I'm walking on 47th Street, and it's all these Israeli guys, and they're going, come on in. The one guy got right in my face. He goes, diamonds, I got the diamonds ready. I said, you know what? Get out of my fucking face. He goes, why you talk to me that way? I go, because you're in my face.
You're in my zone.
He says, why'd you talk to? I go, because you started it, and I'm allowed to say what I want to say back to you. So you said diamonds. I said, go fuck yourself. So
that's what I'm selling.
Now, I keep walking, and he says something to me, and I went like this, yo mama! I suddenly became like a black guy.
Like
yo mama! And they're going, what is yo mama? What is it? And if they're so fucking religious, why do they screw you out of your money? They got the little cap on and the whole. Every time I see a guy with a cap on, a Orthodox Jew, since I'm not a member of his group, he's going to screw me out of my money. That's how I feel. What do you think of that, Mr. Israeli?
I agree with it, and I don't necessarily think it's limited to
Because I'm
just-
not in the tribe, that's why.
I don't think it's limited to just people who aren't in their group.
You think Catholics see a Jew and they go, come on, let's get that Jew's money? They don't do that.
Well, they don't say money. They don't finish a sentence with money, but they usually a period after the word Jew.
Isn't there a guy that wants to arrest the Pope when he goes to England?
Yeah.
All right, take that hat off. All right, when we let you out, you're going to get the hat and the robes back.
I told you about the Orthodox Jew this one day. It was a Friday. I was going to get some lunch, and he goes, he sees me and he goes, "Are you Jew?" And I go, well, "Isn't there an ish on the end of that word anymore?" And he says, "You are Jew, yeah?" And I go, "Yeah." "You wearing your tefillin today?"
What is it, tefillin?
It's this wrap they put around their arm to, symbolize some.
What does it symbolize? Nobody ever knows what anything symbolizes.
Bullshit.
What is it?
I don't remember what it is. I don't. It's make believe. It looks like electrical tape on your forearm. It's so stupid. And there's a little box, and you put your prayer in it that nobody's ever gonna fucking read. Nobody's ever gonna see. And the guy goes, "You have your tefillin?" And I go, "No, I don't." He goes, grabs my arm, and he goes, "I can put it on you in 2 seconds." And I go, "No, thank you, thank you." And grabs my arm again. "No, come here. I put it on." And I snatch my arm back, and I go, "Listen to me." I go, "No!" Like that. I go, "Listen to me." I said,
"Oh, you'll know that show too."
Yeah, I said, "I'm going to Wendy's to get a cheeseburger. You understand what kind of Jew you're talking to? I'm not the Jew you're going to be wrapping tefillin around today. Back off." The guy left, and that was it.
We'll go to break after this. They used to allow the Hare Krishnas to, they'd have a book. They'd have a book. No, in Grand Central. And they'd have a book. But I knew that they were all wearing wigs because they shaved their heads and they had the little, the tassel,
Right.
the little thing in the back. So they started looking normal because nobody was talking to them. So I knew they all wore wigs. So I'm walking through Grand Central. It's packed. And they give you the book and they say, you can have the book for free, but they expect a donation. So the guy hands me the book and I say, "Okay, thanks." And I walk away and he goes, No. I want a donation. I go, No. You said it's for free. No. And so he wants the book back, right? So I decide I'm going to grab his wig off his head and throw it in the air and run, right? I grab him. It was his hair. That's the only time I ever, touched. If anybody touched me, if that guy had touched me yesterday, that's weird, isn't it?
Well, it'd be like that scene in Airplane where he's beating the shit out of all the Hare Krishnas.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You know what? Whatever bad happens to the incredibly religious is all right with me.
Well, I mean, they believe.
That's a T-shirt, isn't it? And that's also, after I say it, this is like those political shows. You go right to the break. You ready? Whatever happens to the incredibly religious, whatever evil, it's all right with me. What
I got to ask you about this. So somebody on my fan page posted this link to a message from Sean
Kelly.
Yeah. Do you know about this message?
Who used to be the producer.
Yeah.
Can I go to my guest first before we do we do it now, or is this?
We can go to the guest first. Yeah.
And because that's kind
this
of
may take some time.
Yes, as our
the subject is "Fuck you, Jay Thomas." So,
oh, it is?
Yeah.
Really?
It's weird though, because at the end. All right, we'll go to the guest.
He's angry and he's.
But he's saying it's all under the guidelines of sarcastic. He's making a little bit of a joke.
Look, man, I got to tell you something. This being out of work is hell, and you go through a lot of different things, and so I allow you to do whatever. I don't. Nobody works for me here at this place. I wouldn't fire anybody. I've never found a job important enough that somebody's life ought to be ruined over it. Mm-hmm. But if you think I caused your demise, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do to me if that makes you feel better.
It's very nice of you.
Thank you. Now we've talked a couple of times and sounded fine to me. But what is it on his?
It's from JFanNet, and
so he went on my failed fan page,
and then somebody copied it and put it on the wall on your Facebook.
Good, my pleasure. Let's go to Angie Jackson. Angie, how are you? Welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. Shuley is here at Howard 101. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, Angie, you were, of course, raised in a cult, and that's your blog. If people want to go to the blog, what's the best way to send them into what you're talking about?
Sure. It's angietheantitheist.blogspot.com.
The Anti-Theist. And so now you've turned completely against, we all think it's a fairy tale too. So, but you were raised in a trailer, and it was your grandmother, right? That was you couldn't go to doctors, and did they make you marry somebody in the trailer park when you were 14?
Like an arranged marriage?
Did you have to do all that?
My grandmother actually did pitch the idea of a arranged marriage, but I was 14 by the time she came up with it, and I was like, hell no.
You mean she pitched it to you in the trailer, and you turned against her?
Yeah, we grew up in a house originally, but yeah, my grandmother actually ran the Colts offices out of a mobile home park in Tampa. And, it was a faith home.
She ran the cult out of a mobile home park in Tampa.
Yep.
I got to tell you,
you'd be surprised how many cults start in mobile home parks.
It seems
not just meth labs anymore.
No, it seems like your grandmother didn't know how to do it, because a lot of the cults make millions of dollars. So she wasn't able to generate a lot of money coming into the cult.
I've written about that myself. I think she was a pretty part-time cult leader, and most of the time just wanted to sit around and watch Fox News.
Well, she's not necessarily pulling in the people in the market that have a lot of money to give either.
Well, but she was she online?
Well, yeah, by the end, yeah. This started back in the late 70s, early 80s, and when I was working for her, it was putting out a monthly newsletter, which is like a combination of fictionalized accounts and begging for money, like any church bulletin.
Right.
And eventually that moved to being a website and then a blog, and
And could you go to regular school? Were you allowed to go to the public school? Or were you homeschooled?
I was originally homeschooled, then I went to Christian school, and then finally I went to public school by the end. So it was kind of a shift over time.
What did you like better out of all those three?
Homeschool, but it was also kindergarten, so I think everybody liked kindergarten better.
If I was going to homeschool, I don't know. I wouldn't. I could, 1 + 1 or 2 × 5.
Yeah, I'd tell my kids skip math.
You would just say, forget that.
It bores me. Why would I want to bore you?
And for social studies, you'd read the newspaper every day or whatever. Yeah. What I wonder is when the mom is teaching, or the grandmother, or the whoever, so it was only kindergarten. They didn't go into algebra with you or anything like that, right? Or chemistry.
Well, yeah, not in my case.
Oh, okay.
Although a lot of the kids in the cult were homeschooled, and by the time I was a teenager, I started giving secret reading lessons.
You mean they couldn't read? This was not the brightest cult, I hear, that you're talking about.
I think over time, again, in the beginning, I think it had a little bit more respectability, but once you started having some deaths pop up and people keep following, that's probably not the cream of the crop.
Now, one of the things in your cult there in Tampa, was it? Around Tampa?
Yes.
All right. You never locked your doors. Why was that? I would, thieves are always living in trailer parks and, robbing people, and there's methamphetamine being boiled and everything. Why did you not lock the doors?
Well, they put the e-brake on. They're safe there.
Yeah, right.
Well, it actually wasn't that. It wasn't that kind of trailer park. We didn't really have, I don't think we actually ever did get robbed there, that I can recall at all, but, it was, my grandmother had this basic idea that you should have complete 100% total reliance on God, and that it was, unfaithful, or you're being a bad Christian if you put your faith in man-made things like going to the doctor or locking your door instead of just completely relying on prayer and God.
Wow. How fast do you think a robbery is at a trailer park? Like, you break in that motorhome.
Maybe they knew we didn't have nice stuff, dude.
Right. No, I'm not saying, but you're not alone. It's not like you're the only trailer in the trailer park that didn't have nice stuff.
Now, Angie Jackson is here. Go to angieantitheist.blip.tv. Is that it?
Yes.
Is that it?
Angie, are you related to Action Jackson?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right.
The reason why you're here is not just because, you're in a cult and everybody's always interested in that, but you're out of the cult now, and I guess you're an outspoken atheist, and it's all nonsense, and that's cool. But you tweeted your abortion. That's why you're here. with us.
Yep.
Yeah. So
bravo to you. Honey.
Congratulations.
Bravo.
Were you raped by somebody? Did somebody attack you and rape you, and it was that's why you didn't want?
And if so, why not tweet during the rape?
Right. Did you? Yeah.
No, I mean, my boyfriend and I, the
consensual.
traditional means of getting pregnant. It was an accident. These things happen. But
You got lazy.
I already have a kid. I'm a mom, and I had a really medically dangerous pregnancy with my son, and I personally am done with my family size. I like having just one kid, and didn't feel ready in any way to take on the challenge of, being a mom to a second kid, especially with, my son has special needs and I have some health considerations. So, we scheduled an abortion immediately. I had it at 4 weeks, one day. And, I did
you go to a
hospital?
Was it a home abortion?
Did you go to a hospital, or did you do it? Are you living in a mobile home now?
No, I'm actually in a very nice house now.
Very nice. So you had a nice home. Did you? I mean, was it a homemade abortion or was it a hospital abortion?
Well, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of both. I went to Planned Parenthood. They now have abortion by pill. It's sold in the U.S. for about 10 years.
RU 240? Is that it? Is that the
RU 486?
I'm
RU 486. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's abortion by pill. It basically induces a miscarriage or really bad period. And you can do it from the comfort of your own home or privacy of your own home.
Mm-hmm.
But before going in myself, I couldn't find a lot of unbiased information or, accounts of how women had felt physically during the experience.
Well, I would think there's pain and there's tremendous bleeding, I would think.
Right, but yeah,
I'm guessing. I'm just a nutty.
Death bleeding, and it was more.
Well, you could die from it. They must.
See, I'm old school. I just figure it's like a big dump. There's just a lot going on.
You're not a woman. I'm
about to say, you know what? Men really, they reduce everything to a bowel movement.
Like holding on to the rails dump. Like you're on a roller coaster.
When they're having the baby, a man invented the phrase, it's like shitting a watermelon. Men, everything, or a pineapple if it's a Filipino child.
I was on the phone. I was on the phone with my buddy in Vegas after my kid was born. I'm like, she shit out 7 pounds, 7 ounces, bro.
All right. Let's try and get this back on track again. Angie.
Please, enough with the hijinks. Let's get back to the Twitter abortion.
Yeah, Angie Jackson twittered her abortion. Now, so it wasn't like there's an abortionist there and there's a coat hanger being sterilized and everything else. So you go back home, and as your stomach was hurting and the blood was coming out, you tweeted. Was it audio also? Did you do it? Could you listen to you doing it, or was it just all written out?
Well, I mean, I tweeted. It actually took about a week for the total process.
It takes a week for the thing to be over?
It can take as little as 4 hours. It can take up to a week. But, I'm a woman. I've had, a pretty bad week like that about every month of my life since I was 12. So that's pretty much, it falls into the normal range of it's just a really bad period. And, I was so relieved to find this out. I actually made a YouTube video.
Of the abortion, of you sitting on the toilet with the blood coming? I mean, I'm asking. I don't know. I haven't watched.
No, I mean, I was able to go about my fairly normal day.
Mm-hmm.
Wore a pad. Had some painful cramps, but the doctor sent me home with some Vicodin, so it was okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing. I was so relieved by how normal it was, that it wasn't this, major, overwhelming, doubled over in pain, hemorrhaging to death ordeal, that I actually made a YouTube video during the first day of the abortion, where I just say, hey, it's not that bad.
Now, are you not? I mean, I know that you've lived through this cult thing, and I'm reading here. I'm sure you were abused at the trailer park, and you sound like your grandmother was like a nut, and there were probably nutty people around you and everything else. But don't you think that this experience you've had has made you kind of nutty, because it is nutty to want to tweet about, and I believe in abortion, but I don't want to have somebody tweet about it. Don't you think it's a nutty thing to do? That it's like, did you say, gee, what kind of person am I that I'm having this abortion and I have to blog about it and YouTube video it and all that stuff?
I had that same debate in my mind, but just about joining Twitter.
That's
It had
right.
nothing to
I
do with
understand.
the-
I got you. I mean, is that a good question, Angie? It's like, do you worry about your mental state because of what they did to you in the cult?
Well, that's two separate questions. I mean, anybody who's in a cult, that's going to screw with you a little
So
bit.
you're screwed up
As far as,
already, and now you're tweeting
sure.
about your abortion. Does that
But let
add
me
to the
explain.
screwiness?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think it's kind of nutty that 1 out of 3 women in the U.S. is going to have an abortion before the age of 45, but I'm the first person to talk about it to the level that, I mean, yeah, it might be crude, but people talk about it, all kinds of things on Twitter, and they're not asked to be on CNN or your show or all the other places that I've been asked. It's not
So you're like
because having
Susan-
an abortion is rare. It's
What
just
did
talking
Susan
about
B. Anthony do? She's on the dollar, on the something. What did she do that they got her on the dollar? Do you know, Shuli? What did she do?
She probably opened her mouth and bugged some people.
I don't know. Does anyone, Kevin? Do you know what Susan B. Anthony did? I don't know.
Didn't have anything to do with the flag, did it?
Didn't she open that hotel that?
That was Betsy Ross.
Didn't she open that hotel that Bosom Buddies was filmed in?
Angie, what did, I mean, Susan B. Anthony is on a dollar. What did she do? Do we know why she's on the dollar? You know.
Well, I mean, she was a feminist, and she spoke out a lot about women not having to just be
A suffragette.
homemakers.
Oh, she was a suffragette. Wow.
Yes.
So, well, you see, so we didn't know that. We're idiots. It'd be wonderful to have you on some of our currency. I mean, wouldn't you love to pull out your $2 bill and there's Angie, the first woman to tweet an abortion, you know? Wouldn't you like that?
Could you
Hey, well, you know, the Library of Congress is archiving the entire history of all public tweets, so apparently this will be in the Library of Congress now forever.
Hey, some people on my fan page, actually everyone on my fan page wants to know if you could tweet your next bowel movement for us.
You know, there's not really a whole lot of mystery about bowel movements. People pretty much know what to expect with those, so I don't think
Right.
that'll be necessary. I'm pretty sure
so
that
you did it for women, so they would know that if they wanted to take RU 486, that it wasn't a horrifying experience, and you did it for the public good.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I get now about an average of 1 email a day from a woman saying, thank you, I've got to go in for mine in a month, or thank you, my sister just had hers, or thank you, 6 months ago I had to have one. Or, you know, hey, I didn't know RU486, abortion by pill, was even available. Thanks for educating. I've got, you know, about 300 emails from women telling me their personal stories, about 50 guys who wrote in to tell me about their stories.
What did the guys say?
Hey, want to grab some drinks?
Yeah.
No, the guys, it's more like, explaining, like one guy talking about how his wife, she had an unviable fetus who had already terminated, but basically she hadn't had the miscarriage in terms of the fetus actually, getting out of her body.
So she plopped it out. Wait a minute. She takes the RU 486.
No. This is a woman who
And the
had
fetus
a planned pregnancy. She wanted to have the child, but the fetus died in the womb, but it was still stuck there. That happens. I mean, a certain number of abortions that occur every year are just actually the removal of already dead fetuses.
God, I didn't.
And so, they're getting harassed by protesters. A guy actually took a swing at this guy's wife, and he's having to tell me the story, and he's saying, hey, thank you for talking about this.
She has a baby, a dead baby stuck in her. She goes to get the baby out, and the guy takes a swing at her. One of Sarah Palin's followers takes a swing at her.
I'm still laughing about, guys online. She's like posting, and they're like, heard about your situation.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear. You look hot in that dress.
Yeah.
What are you doing later?
A lot of freaks out there.
Heard you ditched your baggage. Give me a call.
Angie Jackson is here. Go to angieantitheus.blip.tv. And what's that? What happened? What's the matter?
That's the wrong website. Just do the one on
No,
your
that's
phone.
one of them. I got like five.
There's a lot of them. Okay. xcultnetwork.ning.com. She got a bunch of them. So, okay. And so now,
has anyone started a Twitter account as your aborted baby and start sending you messages yet?
No, but I'm sure you've given a few people the idea.
I was just going to say, expect
here's what I'm
that
gonna
after
say.
this
You know
interview.
what? The medical schools now are not doctors don't even want to learn what's called the DNC. They shot the guy in Kansas, right? And the guy gave a speech, the murderer gave a speech in the court and everything else, and people were, outside saying the guy should be let go or whatever. if this pill works, then you'll just get a pill from the doctor, and you won't have to go to Planned Parenthood, and you won't have to see those protesters, right, Angie? I mean, you'll do it in the privacy of your own home, right? Yeah.
Well, you have to go to a women's clinic to get the pill. It's not something you can go to just any doctor. I mean, they did a lot of testing. They, did blood tests to make sure I wasn't Rh negative because there can be complications from that. They did an ultrasound to see, what stage of pregnancy I was at and make sure that I was pregnant because sometimes girls go in and they aren't. So they did, they did have to do the pre-abortion counseling. So they verify that what your other options are. So it's actually, a couple hour long process, and you do have to go to a clinic for that.
Yeah, but you got to walk through. I live in Santa Barbara, California, and there are 3 people that every single day are standing in front of Planned Parenthood with the signs, and they
dead
have
fetus pictures.
Yeah, they have the picture of the dead fetus, and they have coffee, and they have a donut, and they have the sign, and then you have the poor, girls and women driving through, trying to get in. They got to have a guard, and the gate opens, and they got the picture of Sarah Palin and Newt Gingrich and the whole thing.
And it's their right to make that fucking choice, and these scumbags stand there and they make them feel like shit for it.
Once you can just hand them a pill, then you don't have to drive through the protester. That's got to be awful when you're going through this horrible situation.
I mean, I'm sorry, we got to come up with some laws. Like, all right, so you know what? You can't stand on every sidewalk, okay, douchebag? Like, seriously, there's some places.
Some sidewalks you can't stand.
Some
on.
places. Do you have to be right in front of the goddamn place? You have to be right there in the driveway. Stand across the street. Let these women go in, without having to worry about you shooting them in the fucking head.
Well, the other thing is, Angie, I was going to the bank once in New Orleans, and I was having a problem with my checking account. And,
I love this story.
And when I went to the bank, I was already in a bad mood. I couldn't find a parking spot. So apparently there's a doctor next door to this bank, and I guess the guy does abortions or something. And there was a lot of people with those signs. So I walked through the crowd, and that pisses me off. I go in, my checking account's overdrawn, but when I came out, Angie, and you can use this, I looked at every one of these people. I said, you know what? You people should have been aborted. All of you people that are against abortion are only against abortion because your parents didn't want you, and you know it, and you should have been aborted. I think you ought to be able to be aborted until you're about 50 years old. I think after you're alive, if your parents decide you're an asshole, you can be you should be given a pill and you die. I really mean that. I have to tell you something. Without even knowing it, it really injures them, Angie, when you tell them that they should have been aborted. Please try that.
All right. I will say I hear that myself a couple times a day now.
You do? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, by the way, let's not joke about this. It is there's a heartbeat. You've seen all the pictures. There is kind of a little life there. It's a zygote or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there's something there. There's something.
That's the thing about it. Like, it depends on I had a first trimester abortion.
Right.
But I'm talking about, literally we couldn't see through the first ultrasound. We had to do a second kind to even be able to tell.
It's not even a little dot yet.
Really? Yeah.
It's not even a little dot
yet. Centimeter. This
really?
is just, a couple of cells.
Suppose I'd have caught it in a little petri dish and fed it with a dropper. You think I could have made it into a human being?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know that you could have found it. That's what I'm saying.
Do you feel guilty about it now? Because, the woman that is Roe, or Wade, which one is she? Wade?
Yeah,
Roe? Who was Wade and who was Roe?
Wade plays for the Heat.
Anyway, whatever the one is, she is so sorry she did it, and she shouldn't have done Roe versus Wade. And now this is 50 years later, and she's given speeches and the whole thing.
You think they're paying her to say that shit?
I have no idea. She got religion later. That's why. Do you feel guilty at all now that you've tweeted your RU486 abortion?
Why do I feel guilty? I don't make the mistake of confusing a couple of cells with a child. I mean, I have a child.
All right.
And it helps a whole lot of women and a whole lot of people. So it's one of the, most accidentally important things I think I've ever done as far as having an impact on the world around me. So, yeah, absolutely don't regret it one bit.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Angie Jackson, who tweeted her abortion. And did you add any dramatic stuff to it to make it not so? I would have added some drama to it.
Actually, my goal was to give an honest account, and the good and the bad and the ugly, and Everything.
Oh, I see the little head.
It'd be great if you took like a baby doll and you just started holding up a head all of a sudden.
Yeah, I would have, just the, oh God, I see a little finger, a little arm.
No!
Yeah.
Get out of me! No!
Maybe one day you'll be on Currency. You'll be dead because they always, give you your credit after you're dead. We'll be spending the Angie Jackson $2 bill.
Right.
All right. Angie, good luck. And you can Twitter her at Anti-Theist Angie. Now, you're totally against God now, right?
Well, I'm not totally against Santa either. I just don't think either one exists. I'm opposed to religion and faith because, I lived at the far extreme of faith healing. And a whole lot of the other kids didn't make it out of that alive.
Your grandmother killed kids?
Her teachings did, yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute. Your grandmother, who lived in the trailer park and ran the cult, you think your grandmother killed children?
Yeah, I absolutely think she was responsible for the deaths of Harrison Johnson, Samuel Robidoux. Several kids whose parents didn't take them to doctor during medical emergencies, and allowed them to die rather than violate their religious beliefs that were based on my grandmother's teachings.
And they buried them behind the trailer park, and no one knew they existed even.
Not a good deal of her followers didn't live anywhere close to us. They followed, through the newsletter monthly and things
why
like that.
Why weren't they turned into the authorities? Because those people should go to jail for that.
Well, all the families that I'm talking about did go to trials. The problem is 36 states in the U.S. have religious exemptions for the medical neglect laws, and if your parents are neglecting you because of their religious beliefs, then they're allowed to do it.
Now, wait a minute. There are a lot of people listening right now who have children that they can't stand and who are evil to them. And so you could begin starving your child and saying that it's religious, and the child you don't like dies, and you could beat it because you're a member of a religion that only allows adults to eat.
Well, there's the difference between abuse and neglect.
I see.
There aren't religious exemptions for child abuse, but there are for medical neglect. And the problem is what ends up happening in cases like the one. It's funny you say that because one of these children was starved to death.
God. And they didn't go to jail? The person didn't go to jail for that?
That family did.
Oh, good.
They absolutely did. But there's another family.
Did anybody Twitter while they were starving him?
These were some fairly low-tech people. A lot of these people are very big on isolating from the world around them and being scared of the world. It's more
Angie has heard everything. She's got you nailed.
Listen, I'll believe that when she tweets a queef for me.
All right. Angie Jackson, Angie Anti-Theist. I guess if you just type in, you'll figure it all out. Ex-cult member, and tweeted her abortion, and is writing a book. Is the book out yet, or is it coming out? Or
it's still in the process. Trying to find talking to a couple different literary agents, trying to find the right publisher for the message.
We'll have pictures. All right, Angie. Thank you very much. Angie Jackson, thank you. Tweeted her abortion.
This guy, Alan, on my fan page writes, classic Jay Thomas guest at the very end of the interview. Oh, by the way, my grandmother killed a couple hundred kids.
Well,
why don't you Twitter that shit? Wow.
Well, so she took the pill and basically it was heavy bleeding is what she was tweeting.
Yeah.
All right. I looked through the notes extensively, and I knew that it was a pill, but I didn't know what so it's a learning process. That's all.
And on my page, Detlef Bronk writes, as a former fetus, I support abortion.
Brian of Massachusetts, wasn't that a stirring interview? The woman tweeted her own abortion using this RU 486 pill. What does that mean, by the way? Do you know what that means? That
Are you for 86 and the kid?
86 and your kid.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that real? I mean, that...
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, are you for 86?
Hey, Jay, let me get this straight. A woman that lives in
wait a minute, is that the real number of the friggin' pill?
Yeah, it's called RU 486.
That's unbelievable.
That's great.
So the pharmacist, the guy that thought of it, said, hey, let's put a funny name on the pill.
Right.
Wow.
What? It's market to college kids easier. Hey, let me get this straight. The woman that lived in the trailer park took a pill to get her to get an abortion.
Right.
Right. So, and now she's going to write a book.
Yes.
What's it going to be? 2 pages? I took the pill. I drank some water.
I live in a trailer park.
Well, I think it's going to have. I think it's going to be about her life in the cult,
and there's going to be coloring in
and
it.
the poor children that die. I mean, listen. By the way, I thought she was a pretty tough chick, didn't you? I mean, surely you were,
Yeah, no, I threw some stuff at her. She rolled with it. She
did.
Got a good sense of humor.
People will be tweeting her all day now, won't they?
Oh, I can't wait.
Now, Brian, why do you think that there's, if you've done a lot of things in your life, but why do these people have to let everybody know about it? That's what I know. It's like, I would be quiet about it. You know what I mean? It's like,
She's been living off of this thing. But she's been living off of this thing for the last month. She's been all over TV.
Right.
And she stumbles into the Jay Thomas show at the very end.
Right.
And
the end of her promotional tour, she stopped in the Jay Thomas show.
Baby Jackson just tweeted, "Karma is a bitch, Mom."
All right.
She's ugly. She's ugly. She's really ugly.
Oh, she's an ugly woman too? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She fell out of an ugly tree and hit every ugly branch on the way down, and an ugly squirrel threw ugly nuts at her.
As this one comic I used to work with said, it looked like her face caught on fire and somebody put it out with a pick.
All right. Okay.
Take care, Jack.
All right. Thank you very much. Good Lord. There's no one that feels any, anything for these people. I bring them on.
Empathy?
Yeah. There's no empathy. Nobody feels any empathy for anybody. It's amazing, I mean, surely you didn't feel any, that's a good word, by the way, empathy. You didn't feel any empathy for this woman, this desperate woman?
No, but there is a...
Just no, No! Stop you lying. In case you joined us late, there's a guy on TV who lives with lions, and when the lions charge, he goes, no! That's
with a stick, like a little Bo Peep. Actually, there's a pill now on the market for married couples who haven't had sex in a while. It's called RU469.
Let's go to Jay in Massachusetts. Yes, Jay, how are you? Hello, Jay.
Hey, hey, Jay, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I was going to ask you a question about the cult and how come they always have to dress in those ugly clothes.
Well, they're poor. They're very poor. They don't make a lot of money, these cults.
Well, it's a heck of a marketing job there to entice more people in there. But
you mean what?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
This guy brings up a good point. Hey, want to look like shit? Join our club.
Wait a second. You know the guy Jeffers, and they arrested him, and he's going to go to jail, and he has a. Do you know that after that happened, and they kept showing the women in the clothes, that is a clothing line now, and that's not a joke. It is some sort of
that's right.
Latter-day Saints or whatever. You can go online and you can buy those dresses.
It's the Big Love wardrobe.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Somebody went in, and of course they had to spend money and make thousands of them, I guess. I don't know how they sold, but you could.
It's available at the Kathy Lee line at Walmart.
The Mennonites, that's what it is. Yeah, I went to Belize, and about 50 or 60 years ago, the Belizean government made a deal with the Mennonites.
Brother Belize.
And they gave them like 50 square miles and said, if you will provide cattle and milk, we'll give you that. And they did. So the Mennonites have, a huge showing there in Belize. So we go to the temple, the ruins. And the Mennonites are like the Amish kind of, except they use equipment. They can use machinery and whatever. So there we are, all of a sudden, these two really good-looking women in those dresses, and this guy that looks like, Viggo Mortensen, thin, and he's got the kind of the Amish hat. They come to the and we're all crawling, they hop, literally hop. They were in such incredible shape. Because I guess they work in the fields all the time.
Right.
The women were wild. They were jumping. Their shoes were flying off. They were running up and down. I mean, it's a big giant
And they're not smoking. They're not drinking. They're living a healthy life.
And it was either his wife and her sister or whatever. And these women were so fun. They had you could see their legs sometimes.
Musculature.
They looked just like gymnasts, and he was like a monkey. He could climb a tree. Now, of course, they didn't look at you because you were like a non-believer or whatever.
Right.
I got to tell you something. If that's the life you would live and you would get one or two of those kind of good-looking women who are into it, I don't know why a normal person wouldn't kind of, join. I mean it. Mm-hmm. You're young, or maybe you've lived a lot. You'd get in shape. You drink milk right from the cow, right?
Right.
And you'd get, and I think they screw you constantly to have all the kids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know?
But,
I want to tweet, I would tweet my vasectomy. I'm going to do that. I'll tweet it. Should tweet it.
You should.
I couldn't do that. I passed out after I had mine.
You passed out?
I did, right in the lobby as I was leaving.
Would you home vasectomy?
Would you use like a can opener? Wait a minute.
No,
they cut a little slit in your balls, and they first deadened it, and then they used the heat, right? The
little burn tool. Yeah.
But you couldn't feel it. What made you faint?
The smell.
They said it was the local anesthesia that they used with all the nerves and everything like that. But my wife said that a ton of people ran out of the lobby after they saw me go down. They didn't want to go through that.
You mean guys in the waiting room left?
Oh yeah,
guys he hits the ground. 3 dudes are like, "Fuck that, honey, I'm out of here."
You cleared the waiting room of the vasectomy clinic.
You're like a fire alarm.
You got to tweet that. You got to blog that. You got to do like you got to go against vasectomy.
That's a great prank video you can feel like those jackass guys. Kevin, this is perfect for you. Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
You go to where they're doing vasectomies. You walk in, fill out the paperwork.
Make the appointment.
Yeah, make the appointment.
And you know what you do? You say, you're young, but you say that you were in a cult and you had 5 kids already, and you can't have any more children. You're out of the cult now.
Now you either collapse and see if guys take off, or you get some sort of ketchup or blood pack ready and run out of that back room and someone goes, "Oh my God!"
You walk out and your crotch is just bleeding and you're red with a big clump of bloody hair in your hand.
And you just scream, "The man's insane! He's using pruning shears!"
Oh, wow. So Jay, then how long do you wait before you can have sex? Don't you have to wait like 6 weeks or?
No, I think it was 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks. Okay. All right. And it worked?
It wasn't bad at all.
It worked.
Oh,
all right.
God, yeah. It was the best thing ever.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go to.
Jay, I got one more quick question.
Yeah. What? We have to go to break after this? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. A couple of weeks from now, we're having a party. Mm-hmm. And what is your fee?
My fee?
What do you want him to do at the party?
What do I do at the party?
We were going to hire a bartender for $300, but I figured for $500 I could get you.
You could absolutely get me for $500, but I'm not going to work a full shift. I could tell you that.
Oh, you are?
No, I'm not working any full shift. What's a normal shift? 3 hours?
Add 300 more, you'll get a bar back with that deal.
You know what? For $1,000, Shuli and I will 10 bar at your party.
How do you like that?
And Shuli, enjoy that 100 I'm going to toss you. Yeah. So $1,000 is what we're charging. Okay.
All right. I'll call your agent.
All right. Thanks.
I'll take my
you don't
pay
need to
and
call
push.
me. By the way, for $1,500, you get Garrett, Kevin, Shuli and I, okay? All right? And we'll bring Madison and let her water break right in the middle of the party.
For $22.50, someone in this room will give someone else a hand job.
I'll put it to you this way. We're not worried about being the life of the party. You know what I'm saying, Jay? Okay? We'll be fine. The Jay Thomas Show, we'll continue talking to you. And you know what? Remember when Carson and all the talk show, they would bring in new talent? You know? All right, that's right. We have Lonnie Love.
We got a guy by the name of Jerry Seinfeld.
No, Lonnie Love. That's your Johnny Carson?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Big earthquake in Baja.
I'm Ed McMahon. Hey, you know what? Bad Johnny Carson, bad Ed McMahon. When I'm down in New Orleans, a good friend of mine, and he's on Patriot Radio here at Sirius XM, is Mike Church, the I like to call him the right-wing asshole.
I was going to say, you didn't call me right-wing nut job or anything.
And you're a segment late. We just talked to a woman who twittered her abortion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed that, guys. I really am. Hey, but I'm in the New York Daily News today, I have to tell you.
Were you a part of the teabagger deal?
Well, no, I didn't actually teabag anyone.
You're right.
I was in with the Tea Party folks, but I made the New York Daily News today, Jay. You should be proud of me.
Now, what do you... Now there was yesterday was April 15th, and then I said, why is everybody riding against the taxes? I thought, don't you people extend your taxes like everyone else? Like I extend mine.
I'm like you, Jay. I don't pay.
You don't pay any taxes.
So I try not to pay taxes.
So the tea baggers are
tea partiers.
What are they against now? All taxes, everything.
Well, the people that were in the crowd yesterday were
the white people. All these white people.
Now wait a minute. Now we had
There are no black
people. The guy that put the whole party, the whole event on, David Webb, is a black man.
Really?
Yeah, he got up there and he brought you'd like this. He brought an Asian. He brought a black lady.
Really?
Angela McLoughlin. We were well represented.
So
on
the
Tea
four
Party
ethnic
stage.
people were on the stage and everybody else was white. Now, let me ask you a question.
What does it matter?
If we don't
white
pay
people
taxes,
not have the right to protest?
No,
their
they do
government?
not. No, they don't.
Oh, okay. We just have to take it because we're Caucasian.
Black guy, white guy, Chinese guy, and a lady walk into a tea party.
How many slaves did your ancestors have in Louisiana?
None.
Mine didn't either.
Because my ancestors came from Acadiana.
And mine came from Sicily. So
well,
they
that
didn't have
question went nowhere.
That went nowhere. That's right. I thought he was going to say
He's
7.
trying to trip me up.
Hey, by the way, have you ever met anybody in Louisiana or Arkansas or wherever who's ever said, we owned a plantation and our relatives had slaves? You know, it's funny. There's got to be thousands of those people, but they never talk about it, do they?
I never met anyone that said it was proud of it.
That's right.
When you're at this tea party, when you're at the tea party, does anyone ever yell, "Get your balls out of my eyes"?
Mike Church, what channel are you on?
All right, listen.
What channel are you on?
I can't endorse this any longer.
What channel are you on?
I'm on channel 144.
144. It's Patriot Radio.
Now, where's Benji? Where's my buddy Benji?
Benji Bronx?
Yeah, where's Benji at today?
I don't have Howard.
I don't think Benji's not in on Friday.
I met one guy with Howard on the other day. I finally got into the Stern studio. I got a tour.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed in there.
I had a cavity search. I mean, to get in there, they searched me, they patted me down. I finally get in there. There's a guy named Benji.
Yeah, Benji.
Who's one of Howard's writers. Mm-hmm. Nice guy. He's Mike Church. I listen to talk radio. I listen to you guys on the
Now, why would you want to go over there? Why would you want to go there when he believes in abortion and he believes in taxes and he's a liberal? Why do you want to go see someone like that? And women should be able to put appliances inside of them and everything. Why would you want to go over there?
The same reason when Jay comes to my studio and he operates that we all laugh our asses off.
You think we're funny, don't you?
You guys are hysterical.
Liberals are funny.
You're entertaining. It's entertainment. I love
but you know
Howard.
what? Don't you,
what's not to like about Howard?
But watch, there are people that aren't as lucky as we are, and I don't mind giving them my money and my taxes. I don't mind.
He does. He doesn't mind.
I really don't. I don't care.
This is why when he comes to New Orleans, 5 years ago, he started out in an SUV that he would rent.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
3 years ago, it was a midsize. Now he drives up in a smart car.
Right.
And he pours himself out of this little smart car. And my wife and I say, God, man, Jay must have fallen on hard times. The cars keep getting smaller.
No, I'm saving.
Next
you're
week
right.
he's buying a rickshaw.
I mean, you just want all the oil to be sucked and the lions are killed and the
what lions? Where's there a lion where there's an oil well? Where?
Well, I don't know. They're probably going to find one there. But anyway, you right-wing bastards.
I just want...
See, I have no facts, Julie. I just can call names.
Sure.
Yeah. So
he's good at that. But you know that off the coast of Virginia, there's oil now. You know this. What are you going to do about this?
Well,
they're going to drill for this.
It's not oil.
You need to get it's not
oil.
You guys need to get your dinghy out there, and you need to make a stand on the sea.
It's dead slaves. It's not oil. Off the coast of Virginia. All right, Mike Church is on 144 leading this big teabag thing that No kidding. We had a rally here, didn't we? Didn't you have people?
Yeah, we were. No, that's what I'm here for. Yeah. Last night we had one. It was not a tea bag. It's a tea party.
Do any of those people, the right wingers, smoke dope or do coke or have any fun at all? I mean, or is it just?
No, wait. Now, first, the qualification to protest taxes is you have to be white. Now you've added dope smoking and coke smoking.
Well, I'm just asking. We might want to join.
We're just making sure. We're just making sure our demographics out there. That's all.
That's right.
Slave owning.
Slave owning and dope
you want to add to this? Do you have to beat children, club seals, anything?
All right.
Okay.
Well,
I actually have a show to get to.
All right. Well, you're not letting it leaving so quickly.
It's always
Ladies
a
and gentlemen, Mike Church from
you, Jay.
Patriot 144. Mike Church.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Right-wing asshole.
Couldn't wait for him to get out of here.
I told you I wanted to drop flesh-colored tea bags on him, right? shaped like big balls.
Phil Otto writes, have you ever met a girl at one of these rallies, brought her home, and had very boring missionary position, generic sex? Hot.
All right. All right.
Teabagging.
Oh, he was teabagging
through the window.
All right, stay where you are. We'll be right back. I just got an email at jthomas.com. We talked about Ben Roethlisberger earlier, and he has been there are no charges filed against him in Georgia. We talked earlier about this alleged report that there were these kind of cockblocker guys in front of him, and that came out of the one of the New York newspapers this morning, because I did get some emails that, remember, he has not been he's been maybe charged with something in California, but there were no charges brought, and the woman will not testify against him in Georgia. So that's that. But and some people in Pittsburgh were asking me, well, the beef jerky company dropped him. I don't know if you know that, Big Ben's beef jerky, but Nike has said that they will not drop Ben Roethlisberger.
I mean, how could they keep Tiger and drop Ben?
Right. But they're using a new slogan,
which is
"Just do it, even if she says no."
Look who's here.
That's Ira the Weatherman.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Ira the Weatherman. We'll have you.
Oh, it's a TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday.
All right. By the way, a little while ago. And it's amazing. This show is almost like Facebook to me. So many people listen to us at Sirius XM in the afternoon. Of course, I'm on 108 and 139. Then I do this Howard Stern, Stern one, Howard, whatever it is somebody's name, and it's 101. Ernie 101, Howard 101. And then people that I haven't seen in years, where I talk about, contact me because, this thing goes all over the place. Earlier, we told the story of the guy who said no to the lion and lived with the lions. No. And then I told the story about Helen McRoberts from when I was in junior high school, and the German Shepherd was attacking us.
Yeah.
And she said no, just like the lion guy, and saved my life.
She saved your life.
I'll be damned if she hasn't called us here.
Wow. What are the odds?
Helen, how are you? It's unbelievable. I haven't talked to you since I was 12 years old. How are you?
Oh, wow. I am great, Jay. It's great to talk to you again. How are you?
I don't think this is Helen McRoberts.
Very deep voice there,
What happened, Helen? What happened?
Well, a lot's changed since 12 years old, Jay. But
what happened? Your balls drop?
You really have a tendency to exaggerate the story. It was not a German Shepherd. It was actually a Maine Coon cat. And I distracted it with...
what is a Maine Coon cat? What is that?
A very large cat from Maine.
A Maine Coon cat? I never heard of that.
That's correct. Well, I distracted it with a stick and had a feather on the end of it, and you were crying. You remember this, Jay?
I don't. And you know what makes me mad? This isn't Helen McRoberts. This isn't. I don't know.
How dare you toy with his emotions?
You know what? I was excited. I was seeing her little corduroy jumpsuit she used to wear this little corduroy jumpsuit.
I can't fit into that anymore.
No, you can't.
Well, you were crying, and I picked you up and cradled you, stroking your little afro. And then later I locked you into the bed.
This has got to be, you know what? This is the worst bit ever, okay?
I was sewing my man suit.
Get rid of him. That's it. That's awful.
Not every day's Christmas, my friend.
No, it is not. Let's go to Eddie Mack of Chicago. Yes, Eddie, you're on line one. The Jay Thomas Show with Shuley and Ira the Weatherman. Ira, for Chicago, give Eddie Mack the weather for the weekend.
I'm going to be
It's going to be around 52 degrees in Chicago today.
Yeah.
Under partly sunny sky.
Wonderful. And where are you going to be, Shuley? Somewhere near the Chicago area?
Yeah, tonight I will be with Bob and Beetle in Mokina, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday I will be in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin with the same guys. And we'll be staying at Bob from Chicago's house.
I can't tell if your career is going up or going down. I can't tell it because those two the places that you appear
I'll put it to you this
are either
way.
where you're heading up or when it's over. I can't
Surely, instead of staying in Chicago, stay in the Seven Seas.
Oh, stop.
I'll put it to you this way. If my career was a roller coaster right now, my hands would be up and I'd be going, whee!
All right. Eddie, yes, sir. Thanks for calling, Eddie. How are you? Eddie? What happened to Eddie?
Eddie? What was it?
Guy was hanging on for like an hour.
Is there a chick there?
All right. We did the weather for Chicago and everything. A total waste of the weather. Total waste of the goddamn weather.
Who's on the phone?
Nobody.
Answer me.
Get rid of him.
Jay.
Yes, Ira. Brian of Boston.
First of all,
Yes.
the other day,
Yes.
we had I
Put
don't know
Brian
whether or
above
not you could call him a legend or what.
What? Who came on?
Somebody that I invited up here.
No, let's not discuss it. We brought a guy up. That's in the afternoon, and we brought a guy up, Shuley, who I had helped years ago, and an old DJ from New York called, who worked in one of the oldie stations.
Who cares about Don K. Reed?
I didn't want you to say his name. He's very famous.
Yeah,
and
but
Don
he
K.
isn't
Reed
famous.
called, and Cheech came into the studio right
I recalled him Chooch.
as the old DJ was there.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Slayton came in, and it got nuts. You were there.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a chance to put the old DJ Don K. Reed on, and apparently one of his fans was very upset. He was in the studio.
It was like a waiting room in an annoying office.
Yes, it was. You know what? Would you please contact the famous oldies disc jockey, Don K. Reed, and apologize for me, would you, Ira?
Oh, he did apologize.
No, you apologize for me to him.
I surely will.
All right, because other more famous people came in. All right, there you go. That's what happened.
Jay,
Yes?
I think Mike Church
Yeah.
invited me to a swingers party.
No, I don't think so. Brian of Boston, Jay Thomas here. How are you, Brian? By the way, in a few moments, Lonnie Love will be here. This is when
Double L.
When I launch career,
Double
I'm going to
L.
launch a comedic career. Yes, go ahead, Brian.
Brian.
What in the hell is going on now? What is happening?
Hello, the
I
phone's
see the guy
working.
He's sitting right there. I can see that. We can actually see him at home.
Hello.
Hey, by the way,
Hello,
when
Brian.
you go online and you can pick the seat, the seat of your airplane,
Yeah.
and they charge you $40 more for like a better
More
seat.
leg room.
I'll tell you what they're doing now. They're showing you the person that's going to sit next to you in
Right.
the shitty seat.
Right.
Yeah.
For $30 more, you'll be able to breathe next to this fat fuck.
I saw a big fat guy, and then a woman was going to sit on the other side eating. And I
Right.
said, I'm spending $40 for more leg room.
They had a picture of a wheelchair in one of the seats next to mine. I was
That's
like,
right.
fuck that.
The first time I flew first class, I was being flown out to do a screen test for Mork and Mindy, and I get it in first class. I mean, it was unbelievable, right? A woman that was dying, they put in the seat next to me and put the seat down. Yes, on a stretcher. I'm not joking.
God.
Yeah, my first class trip. So I fly across country with a woman that her family paid untold amounts of money, and it was awful. They had to turn her over in the middle of the flight because of her I don't know what, her bed sores or something.
Oh, Jesus. We were flying back.
And I'm eating and watching the movie and all
Yes.
this.
You're watching Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan.
It was
a woman
awful.
breathing her last breath next to
I don't
you.
know if they do that anymore. And I kept saying, why wouldn't they put her in the luggage area under the plane? She wouldn't even know it.
Well, the worst when I was a wheelchair pusher is you'd have to, the people who couldn't walk, who were, sometimes they had muscular dystrophy or something, you would have to pick them up physically and put them on an aisle chair, which is a really skinny wheelchair that fits in the aisle of the plane, strap them in wheel them down, and you got to cross their arms like they're going down a water slide, and you wheel them out of the plane. Then you got to lift them again and put them in their chair. And it's just like, oh my God, they got bags and wires, and you're like, I go, what am I doing here? What's wrong with my life?
Well, I'll tell you another thing. The damn planes are packed. Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's hysterical that some Spirit Airlines, I don't even know who flies it, they charge $45 to carry a bag on, right? And I don't think their tickets are $45, right? It's like a really cheap airline.
So true. It's
but,
so true.
And the people that carry the bag on, what is in... First of all, when you get out, your clothes must look like wrinkled, like newspaper.
Yeah, mine do.
But I mean, I carry a bag, so when I get to where I am, I can wear like a jacket or something, right? People with a backpack, they're going to stay someplace for a week. What's in there? Why is it so terrible to check a bag? I don't understand it.
My favorite is because people don't want to wait. They don't want to wait at the baggage claim. They don't. But you're waiting anyways.
It goes fast.
You're waiting anyway. If you think about it, see, this is the part that kills me is when they land and they're not even all the way at the gate yet. There's always 2 or 3 people that are already standing up with their bag ready to get off the plane.
You must sit down until the plane has come to a complete stop. They say the same friggin' thing.
Yeah, and it's not like we just started flying last week. Don't you know by now that it's going to take maybe 5 to 10 minutes for them to finally get hooked up to the gate, the doors open, the first class and the old people are let off, and then it's your fucking turn.
Well, no, you have to wait for everybody to get the shit out of the overhead thing.
Just relax. You ain't going to speed anything up. And in fact, you'd be better off checking in bags and just waiting through that. By the time you get off the plane and you get to baggage claim, your bags are there.
There was a time when people traveled and they would dress nicely in the airplane. And when they would arrive, let's say in New York City, let's say you're flying from Indiana to New York City, and you're going to be sightseeing, and you're in a fabulous town, and you would bring your nice clothing with you, right? Now, that's why tourists look like shit. When you walk around and see a tourist,
People
they look like shit.
stop dressing up.
No, because you can only put some shitty T-shirt in a backpack or in some little tiny bag that you put in the overhead.
If there's enough fruit on your shirt, you can't tell that it's wrinkled to shit.
And don't wear shit that has sayings on it and stuff. The one I like is that it looks like fuck, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
My favorite is got weed.
I want to tell you, just keep charging them every friggin' amount of money you can charge them. I check my bag under the plane, okay? And that's why, look at this, my shirt, look at this. Look at this.
Perfect.
Oh, fantastic, right? I take it out, I steam it. I have a little steam thing I carry with me, a little steam thing. I look in the mirror, I have shoes, I mean, you walk downstairs in a hotel now and everybody has tennis shoes and a friggin',
flip-flops.
White beater shirt.
It's like somebody pull you out of the shower and go, hey, let's go see a show and dinner.
Let's go to Martin of New York. Yes, Martin, it's the Jay Thomas Show.
Hey, Martin. How are you, Martin?
Can you turn his mic down just a tad? Uncle Jay had some vodka last night.
Hello, Martin.
Uncle Jay had a couple of standards. Yes, Martin, go ahead.
Julie, you're the best. Jay, you're the best also. Did you guys hear about that Ryanair in Europe? They want to take out bathrooms and they want to start charging people for using a bathroom on
that guy is the greatest owner in the world. I tried to get him on the show. Ryanair is out of, I guess, Ireland. This guy will charge you to go to the toilet now. He wants to charge. He charges for everything. He doesn't care anything about the passengers. You pay sometimes only $10 to fly, but if you want to take a pee, it's $2 or $3, right, Martin? Yeah, and then
yep.
If you carry a bag, that's another $5. If you check a bag, so the ticket ends up being $90. But
he's fighting with Boeing about taking out a couple of bathrooms so he could add more seats onto the plane, but Boeing doesn't want to do it because of safety reasons.
I love the guy. He's my favorite owner, and he could care. He said he does not care about the person that flies. They have to get from wherever to wherever, and they don't care whether they're comfortable or not. They just have to get there and screw them.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to give him my money.
Well, you have to.
Guys, thanks.
$10.
Thanks a lot. I'll get off the phone now. Bye.
Sure, thanks.
You get off this phone. Oh, so lucky you hung up.
Trev, Arizona. Yes, Trev, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Jay. Good morning, Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Trev.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
morning, Trev.
Good morning, Ira.
What's the weather going to be? Now, Ira, just sit where you are. Don't put your mouth right on the microphone. What's the weather going to be in Arizona this weekend?
Weather in Arizona, it's going to be around 65 degrees.
Yeah, I wish.
Really? Ira, that's the desert.
The other Arizona, Ira.
That's the desert. It's normally, that's maybe in the high desert. Maybe Prescott, Arizona will be 65. But where do you live, Trev? What town? You live in Phoenix?
Yeah, I'm just in a suburb northwest of Phoenix.
It's the desert, Ira. What do you think the temperature will be?
It's around 50 degrees.
50 degrees. Oh, he went the other direction. All right, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I agree with you totally about
what
the
a silly name.
All right, don't start. Don't say he made fun of your name. Go ahead, Trev. Go ahead.
The airport situation when you're talking about just everybody dressing up like freaks. Sometimes I just sit there and I just watch people walking through airports when I'm in them. It's amazing. I mean, people used to dress up, like you said. You know, you wear your nice clothes and you
what
go
about
through the airport.
what about the sweatpants?
Oh, geez.
It's unbelievable. And I have to ask, when people look in the mirror, do they not see how fat and ugly they are before they put an outfit on? Do they not look in the? Do they actually look and go, "This looks"? How about with the? I love the women with the thing on their ass, the pink or the juicy or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? What signal do you think that sends to me when I say pink and juicy on your ass?
Well, wait till my line of clothing comes out. It's called Shit Locker. It's going to say it right on the back. Shit Locker with an arrow pointing right at the ass.
I call the sweatpants. So I lost my will to live pants. You know, you can't even put a nice pair of pants on to travel or anything. You got to sit like you're in your living room.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, have a good morning, you guys.
Later, buddy.
You too.
Trev.
You know what's good about this show? The listener is actually as bad as we are.
Yeah.
You know.
Please welcome Chooch and Chong.
Now, this poor woman, this Lonnie Love, is going to come in here. Hopefully. Maybe she won't come in. Maybe she's listened. And by the way, Dhani Jones, who does a really good show, which is that Dhani takes on the world or whatever. Tackles the globe, and he's the Cincinnati Bengals linebacker. So we're expecting those two folks.
He's been moving around the last couple seasons, right?
He was a Saint for a while. I think he was a Ram too. I believe. I don't know. He was an Eagle. He was an Eagle. Then he was a Saint.
Led the league in tackles last year.
And he's also, he works for that Operation Smile. You know, you open the magazine and those kids have that horrible lip with the teeth that are sticking out. By the way, who is the daddy of those children? It looks like there's got to be some sort of DNA where the teeth are.
Probably some cult.
No, but there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm. It's the same
almost
guy.
like it's like a piranha is screwing women in these countries.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, that's a hair lip.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a hair. Hey,
isn't that what those are on the kids?
No, I don't know.
Cleft Palace, aren't they?
Well, that thing, the whole. You know what it looks like? Remember in Forrest Gump, the thing they put in Bubba's mouth? Mm-hmm. Remember that? They got to doctor those pictures. Nobody's teeth look like that all the time. First of all, if one of the parents looked like that, how'd they get laid?
Please, there's so many fucked up kids out there. There was a special on the other day called The Mermaid Girl on TLC.
No, stop it.
I'm not lying to you.
She has a tail.
Well, something happens with her spine where she has to sit sideways all the time. So she always looks like she's posing like a mermaid. And it's like she's got 3 years left to live, and they did a documentary on it. Oh, God. Oh, it was awful.
Oh, my God.
They tried to throw her back in the ocean.
They did not. No, they didn't.
You're free! Go back to whence you came!
I gotta tell you, you know what? I want to correct myself. If someone could fuck Larry King, someone could fuck the people who have that tooth thing, okay? That mouth thing.
Yeah. Not only someone fucked Larry King, 7 people decided he was the one.
And he's screwing, allegedly, the gorgeous sister of his current wife. That's what she's accusing him.
His current wife is even out of his league.
Oh, my God. It's just unbelievable. So they ought to put Larry King in that Operation Smile thing. Just put his,
Like, what do you say if you're banging Larry King? Ma, you got to see him. When he was just wearing his suspenders, he was so
Larry
hot.
King?
Oh, there you go.
agree
There's
with
Ira the
that.
Weatherman. All right. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuley and Ira the Weatherman. It doesn't happen often, but Garrett Andrews, get on that microphone there. We had this woman, Lonnie Love, was very funny, was supposed to come on, and she actually had called the show and said she was a fan of the show.
That's what I heard from Andrea, that she loved the show so much she
wanted to come on.
Sought us out?
She sought us out.
Okay.
And then she listened this morning, and apparently the tweeting abortion and my church caused her not to want to come in, so she will not be in studio.
Thanks, Mike.
And thanks aborting a tweet. Abort a tweeter.
Angie Action Jackson.
But Dhani Jones hasn't been listening, and he'll probably come in, or he'll probably call us. He's does Dhani Jones tackles the Globe. You can call me. It's the Jay Thomas Show. I'm at Howard 101, and you know the phone number. It must be right there in front of you. Let's go to Greg of Kansas City. Yes, Greg, how are you?
Coming to
I'm
Kansas
great. Good morning,
City.
Jay. Good morning, Shuley. Hey, this is the home of the stellar-dwelling Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the airplane situation.
Mm-hmm. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Put him on hold. Let's go around the horn here for just a moment. Just listening to his voice for that few seconds, I'm gonna ask. Bring the music up there. Bring the music. How do you think this story is going to turn out, Garrett Andrews?
Well, I'm kind of biased because I talked to him on the phone already, so I know what he's going to say.
You have to recuse yourself.
Yes.
That's right. Kevin, what do you think it's going to? Just listening to the first few seconds, you think it'll be interesting?
No.
I don't know. Ira, do you think it'll be interesting?
Jay, people with red hair.
What is it?
Make me laugh.
How do you know he has red hair? Would you turn the You can turn the microphone. I didn't mean turn it off completely. Shirley, do you think it's going to turn out well?
Yes, I do. I have faith in this man.
All right. Let's go back to I don't have a good feeling. Greg of Kansas City, what is your flying story? Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Rival shows. Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg. What did you want to say?
It's that whenever you pack, you want to have something to eat because you're not going to have any food on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to wear cotton clothes so when the plane bursts into flame, the synthetic clothes won't melt to your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to wear tennis shoes so when you're running down the airplane wing, you won't slip in your patent leather shoes. It's all about survival. I hate flying. That's
all
it, dude.
right.
Thanks.
We were all correct. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Lonnie Love is coming.
Lonnie's in the house.
We thought you were listening and didn't want to come in, Lonnie. How are you?
Look how Ira just will not move.
Lonnie, we
had
a
spike strip in the middle of the road.
No, you know what? We figured also the security downstairs is awful.
It's like Fort Knox.
Being a black woman is hard.
Yeah. No,
tell me about it, sister.
Lonnie, I've been here 5 years and they checked my ID. Lonnie Love, by the way, America's Sister premieres on Comedy Central, and Lonnie is from Detroit, Michigan, and fan of the show, and I'm a fan of hers.
I am a big fan of you, Jay. I grew up on you, Jay. You are a legend to me.
Now, thank you. Now, Lonnie, I'm glad you're here because I'm from New Orleans, and I want them to start doing what they're doing in Detroit, which is knock down the city. They're knocking the city of Detroit down.
They have to. We got to do something. The cars aren't anywhere. I mean, I used to build cars.
Now you worked in the GM.
Yep.
What did you do exactly? What is
I actually built cars. If anybody's driving a 1993 Chevrolet Cutlass, take it back because I built it.
What was your job though? Like, did you do the brake light?
I put on doors. I actually put on that was before. This is how old I am. This is before it really became robotic.
Right.
I actually had to put on
physically
doors.
Put on doors.
Right.
Did you have like a screw gun?
A screw gun, and I did 500 cars a day.
No.
Yes. That was in the heyday. That's when we were making money.
And you could talk some serious shit after working 500 cars a day. Somebody says something to you,
we were doing everything. We were eating, selling weed. That's why I was fucked up.
Some of the cars has like a 20 sack in it.
Yeah.
Now, when you say 500 cars a day, how many years did you do that?
I did it for 6 months.
Oh, that's all. That's
I
all.
couldn't take it.
So there are poor bastards who are doing it for 15, 20 years, and then they fired them now, and they're all done.
Mm-hmm.
And so you I mean, it must drive you completely nuts.
Yeah, that's why we were smoking and drinking and playing lottery. I mean, because that's all we did. We did it for 18 hours. To build 500 cars a day, you had to be online 18 hours a day.
But that wasn't a shift, was it?
That was a shift. Wow. It was 18 hours. Well, you get a break. You get like...
No, but that only gives you
shift.
6 hours to... But
exactly.
how long were you there?
I was only there for 6 months.
No, how many hours would you...
18 hours.
She's saying a regular shift was 18 hours.
18 hours.
But that only gives you, by the time you get home, you can only sleep for 4 hours.
That's why the cars are fucked up, Jay.
And that's why they came up with robotics, so people
exactly,
could...
It was,
how can they work a human being 18 hours
when
a day?
they pay a human being like that, it was fine.
And ask Kathy Lee Gifford. She's got those kids over there making clothes.
Was it 3 days on, 3 days off? Or?
Yeah, it was like 4 days on.
All right.
And it was great money.
Did anybody lose a finger smoking dope or loaded or whatever or coked out?
No, I'm not going to even answer that. So
why not? There weren't any injuries? Were there anybody ever?
We always had injuries.
Right. Was there ever anybody having sex during an 18-hour shift?
They were doing a little bit of everything there,
right.
Jay. I was selling chicken dinners myself. I was making money on the side. So
you would bring chicken to the
I would fry my chicken with Lottie Fried Chicken Corner by the doors. For real. See y'all laughing.
You imagine all the doors that got like grease in it, ashes from a joint. It's upside down. The handle's up on top.
You know, when you're making a door, it would be fun just to screw with people's heads, to take like a bag of pot and just put it in a door, and the person at some point gets arrested, they tear the car apart. You know, that's not mine.
There was a funny story. This woman bought a car at one of those police auctions, and she got a really great deal on it. She goes to put gas in it, and for whatever reason, the car won't hold this gas. It just keeps... Gas just keeps pouring out of this thing. She can't figure it out. She takes it to a shop. They open up the gas tank and they pull out like 40 pounds of weed that somebody stuffed in the gas tank. And this like 70-year-old woman been driving around a weed mobile.
I don't know why they call the cops when they find a mother lode like that. I've never quite understood that. Hey, I found this bale at the beach. You know, I would like go hide it. You know,
yeah. If I found a bunch of stock in my car, I'm not calling an accountant and be like, I found a
LonnieLove.com. Lonnie is on Comedy Central, and it's a big deal for you. And
you're great on the VH1 stuff. And,
Thank you. I love the 80s, 90s. I love the 1800s as long as they pay.
One of my favorite shows, I don't know if they're doing it anymore, is the Black to the Future.
Yeah, that was just a special show.
They got to do more of that one. It was great.
What would one of the episodes of Black to the Future be? I haven't seen that.
We were dealing like with Soul Train, you know, things that happened.
Don Cornelius?
Yeah.
He always looked like, because his neck never moved, he looked like, and I don't know why, a black frog to me. You know how a frog's neck doesn't move? A frog has to turn its whole head and its eyes go in a circle. Is Don Cornelius still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive, physically, but.
Yeah.
He was without a doubt, one of the worst interviewers,
I know.
ever.
It was so boring.
It was monotone. The worst. And now when I watch the replays, when they show the old, I record every single one.
I know.
It's like a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off of it.
But his neck, he had a tie because you get home, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and Soul Train, and you're always eating a bowl of cereal, right? You're eating a bowl of cereal, and you see him.
And 80s Soul Train sucked, by the way. I just gotta say, disco shit or whatever, that choreographed dancing, get it out of here.
And then when they changed hosts, when Don couldn't host anymore, it's like, just let it go, people.
I was gone.
Now, I didn't know you did this. Did you do World's Dumbest Criminals?
Yeah, every Thursday night, TV.
You still do it?
Yes.
And so, do you remember some of the dumb criminals?
Yes, I do. I remember a lot of this stuff because some of the stuff is unbelievable.
Right.
But, the dumb criminals are the people that's actually on the show with me. A lot of them are.
The celebrities that got busted for
they
stuff.
They got me on the show, Jay, with, Ty Bridges. I mean.
He was on with us last week.
Oh, my God.
But he acts like he didn't do anything.
Sure.
They all all do, because
Right.
that's what crackheads do. They deny. Seriously, my family, really, they do. Leif Garrett, I mean,
what did he do?
He got arrested for heroin possession.
Now, and I don't know the show.
Bonaducci's on there.
Do they host it with you, or they comment on the criminal?
Comment. We all comment. Tanya Harding's on there. You know, the figure skater.
She is a total whore, right? I mean, I'm sorry. Look, I don't mean she takes money for sex. I mean her demeanor. Her demeanor
Looks
seems
a little trashy.
Yeah, she's
All
trashy.
I know is when I see her, I cover my knees because I don't want her to hit me in my knees the way she did Nancy.
One of my favorite criminal stories is the one where the guy went to go rob some store. He was an electrician. He wanted to disguise himself, so he put electrical tape.
Right,
made
he
a
almost
mask.
died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't leave holes big enough to breathe, and he passed out during the robbery.
The duct tape robbery.
I knew you were coming in, and I have all these. There was a guy that he had the pot stuck to his forehead, and he got out of the car, and he had I don't know what somehow the pot was stuck to his forehead. He's talking to the cops, and there's like a thing of I mean, I don't know how that happened, but.
You remember the cop? Remember the 911 call of the cop who his wife? He took some pot from evidence, and his wife made pot brownies, and they ate it.
And he ate it,
and he
got
started
scared.
tripping so bad.
Yeah.
He called 911, and
right.
told him that he thinks he's going to die.
Yeah, we got a lot of pot stories on
Well,
the show. I mean, there was these two guys that
my
worked
people.
at Burger King, and
Yeah.
they put pot for the police officers. They put it on the burger.
Yeah,
and
like a cop wouldn't notice that.
Like they were like, "Why are we feeling funny?" And,
Right.
You know, it's like so. We have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Lonnie Love is with us. Do you know who Dhani Jones is?
No.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. He's a big football player, and he travels all over the world, and he does stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Well, he'll like do a martial arts thing, or he'll play rugby.
Is
Or
that the gay guy?
no, he's not. He's
on
he's
the
a
Travel
big,
Channel.
He's a big
on-
football player.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. Would you stay with us when we talk
Oh,
to?
if I can.
Absolutely.
Hey, Dhani.
Yeah, you'll get
Where's
a chance
he
to
at?
do all of that. Lonnie Love. By the way, have you read any? You can't talk about Oprah Winfrey here because she owns half the building. So,
well, she can. We can.
Yeah, you can talk about her. Have you read that book yet?
I read that. Well, I read excerpts of the book. Yeah.
Right. That's all you need.
I
right?
wouldn't want nobody to know if John Test dumped me. I wouldn't,
Yeah,
John
you would be
Tesh
bragging about it.
Dated
Oprah.
I never knew that ever.
Never. Nobody knew. Thank you, Kitty Kelly, for telling us that.
John Tesh.
And supposedly, John Tesh,
well, he
dumped
didn't
her.
sleep with her.
Yeah, no. Supposedly, what happened was one night they were in the bed, and this is from an ex of John Tesh, and she said that John Tesh said, "I just looked at that brown body, I couldn't take it anymore," and left in the night.
He looked at Oprah's brown body.
That's what.
Who the hell is he? Warren Beatty over there?
No,
you John Tesh.
He
you got
doesn't
some
like.
nerve.
He doesn't like the ebony body. Is that what we're saying?
I guess that's what his ex said.
And
in the book.
he's really white and tall.
Yeah, he is.
And plays elevator music. All right.
Yeah.
Lonnie, stay where you are. Go to LonnieLove.com, and she'll be appearing in the area, right? All your appearances are there. Plus,
Yes.
on Comedy Central, the specials on the way.
101.
Dhani Jones called and said he was listening to the show and he doesn't want to come on. No, so that's it. We're going to get him on, or we were late for him or whatever.
Hopefully he should be on in a few minutes.
Also, Shuli, somebody emailed you something very interesting a few moments ago. Lonnie Love is here with us. Yeah,
on my Facebook fan page, Detlef Bronk writes, because you asked Lonnie if she's familiar with Dhani Jones.
Yes,
and he writes, "Yeah, Jay, every black person knows every other black person in the world."
That's a good one, baby.
Yes, that's it.
Lonnie, you were talking about John Tesh.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yeah.
John Tesh is the worst DJ on the radio. I don't know how stations can pick him up.
Is he a hack,
It's
Ira?
unbelievable. He's the worst.
It's awful. He's just awful.
Awful.
Now, what he does is
horrible.
All right.
He reads health notes and stuff. Like, have you ever heard the John Tesh show?
No.
Ever. He reads kind of health stuff. Now, I know Connie Selica, who is his wife, and I know John too, since he's was a newsman in Raleigh.
Right.
They didn't sleep together before they got married. He did, and now you say he slept with Oprah,
Right.
Or allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
But but the thing is that he decided that he I guess religious or whatever, but didn't sleep with this Connie Selica.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that's the stupidest thing. You were in the car industry. You would never buy a car without driving it first.
That's right.
You would definitely test it
Check
out.
that engine.
You
Make sure it roars.
Jay,
Her baby.
What is it?
Jay,
Yes.
he's a blonde freak.
I see. All right. Is Dhani ready to go? We got Dhani. This show is out completely out of hand. Is Dhani? Is he there? Hey, Dhani, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
You're on with Dhani?
Okay, fine. Dhani, it's Jay Thomas.
Dhani, you're on with
How long are
Jay?
you guys going to put me on hold for?
No, not long. You're not on hold. You're on hold.
Man, I can't believe you guys just keep dismissing me. This is messed up.
No, Dhani, you're on the air now.
Okay, let's talk. Let's talk.
Now, Dhani, Lonnie Love is here also, the famous comedian.
He's like, who?
The comedian.
Yeah, that's the one. Now, Dhani, by the way, the Cincinnati Bengals linebacker, and on the Travel Channel, Dhani Jones tackles the globe. Now, when you fight some of these guys in these shows and you beat them,
I get beat too now.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Oh, come on now. I get beat.
Do you get beat
Not everybody wins these games. I don't always win.
Okay. Now, the one I loved is when you went to England and played rugby. It really did look harder than American football, didn't it?
Did you really just watch the rugby, or did you watch me get drunk?
I watched all the show because they kept you on the bench until the last minute of the game, didn't they?
They weren't sure if
Yeah.
the game of football would directly translate to the game of rugby, but I assured them if they put me in, I'd make some plays, and I think I did.
No, you did great, but they did drink the night before the game.
The night before.
Some buddies of mine from England said that was bullshit, they said.
What are you talking about?
That's what they told me. I said, I just watched the Dhani Jones.
The English will never admit to how much they actually drink. But when you go there, you learn that they actually drink.
Would they drink before the championship and everything?
No, come on. We're competitors now. We don't do that.
No, the rugby players, would you drink before the championship?
No, come on. We're out to win a game.
No, but I thought on the show you drank the night before the big game the
Yeah,
next
well,
day.
I went out. I had a good time.
All right.
I'm going to enjoy myself in whatever country I'm in. I mean, I just got back from Nepal, and I enjoyed myself there. But it was, man, it's hard walking those long distances.
Now, Dhani, when you tackle Ben Roethlisberger, are you planning on playing again this year? You're going to be back?
Of course.
Okay.
I have responsibilities to the Cincinnati Bengals.
I understand.
That's my day job.
I
Come
understand.
on, Dhani tackles the globe. That's just for fun.
I understand. But when you hit Ben Roethlisberger and he's gotten in his little trouble with the women, I mean, will you say shit to him when you knock his ass down? Will you go, hey, man?
You know what? I'm really not that kind of person that, unless he says something to me, I won't really spark off like that. It kind of takes a little bit, and then
Surely we got to write stuff for him.
If we get to the flow of things, sometimes things like that might come out. But then he's going to be like, "Shouldn't you be on a mountain tackling the globe or something like that?" So there's a
No, I have a line for you.
What?
You tackle him, you guys are on the ground, you go, hey man, congratulations, I know you still work for Nike, but because of you, their new saying is, just do it, even if the bitch says no. Dhani, please say it for me, please.
Yeah, while you're on top of him, if you got time for a monologue.
No, you know what? It takes like 30 seconds to... No, your helmets are face to face, you're breathing on each other, and you go, hey,
yeah, but you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to pick that up on some sideline mic, and then I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm going to get suspended.
All right.
Then we're just both up that proverbial creek.
Dhani Jones tackles the globe on the Travel Channel. And Monday night. I'm also on the Travel Channel on Ghost Story starting in June. But anyway, now you travel.
Oh, I like nice plug. Nice plug. Thanks.
And hey, don't forget to watch Lonnie Love on Comedy Central.
I'm on the Travel Channel too.
And Lonnie's on the Travel Channel also.
Beach Bodies Exposed. She's on
Travel
Travel
I don't have a beach body.
No,
but
you
I
don't.
exposed.
All right.
You know what? Fuck you, Jay. Okay. Hi, Dhani. I love your show. I've seen it on the.
Dhani, you played for the Saints, and I'm from New Orleans.
I was only there for a stint.
Who was your coach when you were there?
Sean Payton.
Oh, Sean was your coach.
Yeah.
Now, what is that like when you leave and a couple of years later they get that ring? Does that bug you?
No, it doesn't bug me. I'm excited for him. I mean, I knew since the days when he was in New York and he was the offensive coordinator, and then he went down to Dallas, that whenever he got a head coaching gig, that he would get that ring. I mean, you can tell on certain people's eyes. I mean, I can tell traveling the globe and meeting different people learning about different cultures. Who has that competitive edge and who has that complete understanding of the sport that they're participating in?
Well, why didn't you? Could you not stay? I mean, you're a great linebacker.
I didn't do. I mean, I didn't perform as well.
Really?
As I should have. And then, but the opportunity. But look, if I had been on New Orleans, I might have gotten to the Super Bowl. May have not gotten to the Super Bowl, but I'm on the Bengals now, so I'm excited about that. And I'm also out there tackling the globe.
Keep your job, baby.
Dhani Jones on Travel Channel tackles the globe. Thank you, Dhani, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Lonnie Love, thank you also.
Dhani's the only guest that was like, why the hell you keep me on hold? We're like, we're sorry, sir.
By the way, did you hear that? Did you hear him?
He was, man.
He was on hold for 0.6 of a second, I think.
Jesus.
This is wrong, man.
Lonnie, great to have you in.
Thank you, Jay.
Love to have a fan in, and good luck. LonnieLove.com. Find out where she's appearing. You're probably driving a car she built back in the 1990s.
Lonnie, have a good weekend.
Comedy Central, Lonnie Love, America's sister. Shuli, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Mokina, Illinois tonight, and Wisconsin tomorrow night. Go to my website, Jew Gone Wild, for any details.
I'll be at the JetBlue Terminal in an hour.